Good afternoon and welcome to Cook for Fun TV. Today is Saturday, August 19. The time is approximately 3:02 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. And we're broadcasting to you live from the Greater Toronto area of Ontario, Canada. And we are actually in a suburb that is directly north of Toronto called Markham. And today's menu is chocolate zucchini cake, which also might be known as German chocolate cake, and Szechuan stir-fry pork. So let's get started. For those of you who are new to the channel, we typically cast 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone every Sunday. Due to some of the summer activities going on, we've had a bit of a switch. Last week, Mr. Cook for Fun and I went to a cottage 45 minutes from where we are for a little getaway, a last minute plan. And there wasn't enough Wi-Fi strength to stream, so we're making it up. And tomorrow, Sunday, we are going on a day trip to a park that is celebrating 150th birthday for Canada. So one of those neighborhood activities that we need to get involved in, but wanted to make the stream happen for this week, so we rearranged the time to now. All right, so for this zucchini cake, we are going to start off by shredding the zucchini and also letting the zucchini sit in some salt so that the excess liquid would come out. So this is a trick that's used in pickling and also preparing ingredients for dumplings or for binding. And the salting process allows excess liquid to come out so that you get your vegetables less wet, less moisture, and also crunchier. And it enhances the taste too of the food that you're salting. Good afternoon, Chew Toy. How are you? So you've given me the nickname Panda Eyes. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but pandas are very lovely animals, so I'll take that as a positive. Great. And to shred our zucchini, we're going to use a handy dandy food processor, but you're welcome to also use a vegetable peeler or a box grater to do the shredding. And I promise to alert you once I have this on so that if you're wearing earphones, it's not going to break your eardrums. Okay. 1 second. I'm missing a couple of pieces that go in the middle. Great. Well, I'm very pleased for the compliment that you provided. So I was looking for these gadgets that snap. They were glued on and then they came off over time. I actually got this processor secondhand on Kijiji. So if you're not familiar with Kijiji, that is a website. It's similar to Craigslist where people post things that they're selling, things they want to buy. It's like a forum. It's like a yellow page. So this is quite popular, Kijiji worldwide, but yeah, so I bought this secondhand and but I think it's my fault. I was grinding meat with this and I think it just sort of, the meat was a bit hard and it just caused it to undo itself, those pieces, so. We're good. We're just going to keep an eye on it though. And I'm going to grab a cutting board. I'm just behind you. Panda eyes. So some people associate panda eyes with having not enough sleep. So not enough sleep and looking tired, and they have to apply some cosmetics to cover the panda eyes, but I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah. Or like if you have a black eye from a fight, your eye gets bluish from getting a punch in the eye. That's a panda eye too. Or that's more like raccoon eyes. Yeah. Yeah, pandas are great animals, though. We have a couple in our zoo in Toronto, or in the Toronto Zoo. I think they were on loan from China. So before I cut this up, I wanted to show this off. So this is a zucchini from our garden. Both of these are from our garden, and we waited until this grew really big before picking it. I think we had another one that was even bigger than this, and this one is more of a regular size zucchini. We decided to just pick it at its regular size, and the difference is supposed to be that the skin gets tougher and harder the longer you wait before you harvest it. And I think the skin is softer for the smaller one. But after I cut it open, you're going to notice that the fruit of the pulp, or yeah, the fruit or the flesh of the vegetable is actually quite soft and tender, and it almost has a cucumber taste to it. Okay, well, enjoy your lunch, Chew Toy, and hope to see you next time. Enjoy your weekend in general, and have a great time with your family. Thanks so much. Bye for now. Okay. And in general, the larger zucchinis are juicier, so I actually quite like them. I find they have more of a very fresh taste. They remind me of cucumber in that when you bite into it, it's just got that really, really fresh taste to it. So that's the difference between the larger zucchinis and the smaller zucchinis. So I'm going to cut approximately 2 cups of this. So I just did it by sight, and yeah. So I'm going to approximate this as 2 cups. Okay. I can always get more if I need, and in fact, I am going to use some of this zucchini for the other dish we're making, which is the Szechuan stir fry. Okay, so let's take a look at that. This zucchini, it's really, for perspective, this is the regular size zucchini. It's got a lot of flesh inside, and it's very moist, and it's quite soft, and it's just got a really, really fresh aroma, like taste to it. I quite like it, and that's the difference between your homegrown vegetables, which we grew it in our garden, versus store-bought. Yeah, because the ripeness wasn't induced. It's naturally ripened on the vine, and I'll just give you another look at that. It's so beautiful. It's a juicy, moist. You can just tell by the way the flesh or the inside is just illuminating, if that makes any sense. And I'm just going to cut portions so that they fit into the processor. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I'm not really concerned about, the seeds. They're healthy. In fact, they're very, very healthy. So I'll keep them in. So I'm going to cut like large sticks that fit right into the processor. Okay. And earlier I was mentioning that these have to be salted in order to get moisture out. Salt will draw moisture out and help bring out the taste of the zucchini. It will also help in binding the cake together. So this is a common trick used either for pickling to get your vegetables nice and crunchy, or whenever you're having your vegetables inserted or in a dumpling, a meatball, anything that needs to be bounded. Similar with this cake, we don't want it to be runny. We want a nice solid cake. So let's try to get the moisture out of this vegetable. Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually going to mute the mic when I turn on the food processor. Okay, I just tested that it works. I muted it so that it won't hurt your eardrums because the mic is right beside the food processor. I'm gonna mute that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and one thing is I wanted to have music on playing in this stream. So let me call upon Mr. DJ to turn on some music that we discovered this weekend. 1 second. Hey, Mr. DJ, can you please turn on the tunes? Thank you very much. All right, so we should be able to hear that in the background on our Sonos player. And I'm going to mute you so that I can turn on the food processor. Okay, so we have a lot of shredded zucchini, and we'll just check that that's approximately 2 cups, because we want around 2 cups. Okay, and that's quite a bit. So I'm going to safely say that that's 2 cups or maybe even more. When you shred it, you get more volume because your vegetables no longer compacted together. So I'm going to get a big dish, a big bowl actually, more of a basin, and sprinkle salt on it. Okay. Okay. In a spatula, we've got a pink one to match what I'm wearing. Okay. And normally you would take out the seeds, but I'm gonna keep them in. I think they're healthy. They're full of fiber. I'm not quite a fan of discarding parts of my food if I know they're edible. For example, we're also growing beets in our garden, and the beets are attached to leaves. And I once looked up online whether those leaves were edible, because they look so nice. They're so leafy. They're really green. They look like they're full of iron and nutrients. And it's often for a lot of health articles will mention that eating leafy vegetables are good for you. So I looked it up and found that yes, you can eat the leaves of beets. It's similar to eating spinach or kale. You wash it and serve it, just do a quick stir fry with oil and some garlic and seasoning, and you can eat it. Yeah, and it's quite nice. The taste of beet leaves have a bit of beet flavor to them. A bit of that sweetness from the beet vegetable is actually, you can actually taste that in the beet leaf, so it's quite nice. So yeah, I know that the seeds, they're not poisonous or anything. So if you can handle the taste, just eat it. So this is definitely more than 2 cups, but when I was cutting it up, it was probably around even less than 2 cups when I first cut it, but because there's a lot of air mixed into there's 2 cups for sure. And I'm going to just move this processor so that there's more room. Yeah, we're done with it. We don't need it for any other preparation. So the top part will go in the sink and the bottom part I'll just go behind you, put on the table to make it nice and clear for you. Great. All right, and we have some pieces that didn't shred properly. I'll just chop them up with our cleaver. So if you type cleaver with a capital C, lowercase L-E-A-V-R, you get our custom emote. That's the cleaver, which is a signature tool that's used in our kitchen. It's my tool of choice. I grew up using a cleaver, and I like that it's versatile to use for cutting a variety of things. And I love that it's so wide, so I can scoop things up. And I'm just chopping it. That's all I'm doing. I guess I don't have to. I could just leave them in shreds because the rest of the zucchini is shredded up. Okay. And the recipe called for 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Because of the volume of zucchini, I'm actually going to add more salt. So I'm going to just grab some salt beside you. I'm using kosher salt, but you can just use regular salt. Okay. So here's a teaspoon measure. I'm going to use all of it. I'm actually tempted to use even more. So you can use regular salt. I'm using kosher. And to be honest, you don't have to worry too much about the exact salt you're using. So what's the difference between kosher salt and regular salt, table salt? There isn't too much difference. The main difference is the size. The granules are large compared to table salt. You can actually see the crystal pieces. They're quite large. And a lot of recipes like to call for kosher salt when for sprinkling, because you can control the volume well. It doesn't just disperse and go everywhere. You can see it, and you actively know how much you're sprinkling. But really, I just have it because we actually don't have table salt right now. My husband likes to buy some pink Himalayan salt. We have coarse salt, we have kosher salt, we don't have table salt. Yeah, I'll put this aside. We like to keep our table nice and decluttered, and I'm going to just use my spatula and stir it in. I'm actually tempted to use even more salt due to the volume of zucchini we have here. So what we're doing here is we're mixing the salt in, and the salt will help to draw moisture out of the zucchini. This is actually a very, very moist zucchini because it's straight from the garden. It was a larger zucchini, so it's got more liquid than your typical zucchinis found in the shop. So I'm just getting more, approximately 1 3/4 tablespoon in total that I've added, because we really need to draw the moisture out. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it a very, very thorough stir. This isn't probably the best. I mean, my hands would be better. If any of you have done pickling, and in particular pickling for Korean kimchi. Kimchi is like a spicy sauerkraut, kind of like a spicy sauerkraut made with an Asian cabbage or a Napa cabbage rather than Western cabbage. All the people that make it, they use their hands. Often they wear gloves because a lot of the seasonings are, they sting, and chili powder is a major ingredient in making kimchi, and it can burn. Yeah, so I'm going to show you a close-up. As I stir this, there's actually a lot of liquid being drawn out. I can actually see it. We do need to have this sitting in the bowl for a while so that the salt can do its work and draw the moisture out. But I want to show you this close up. Okay, I don't know if you can see like the liquid, I can actually pour it out now. Usually when you have your vegetables in a bowl, you don't really see liquid like, over here. See really close up. Look at that liquid. It's just being released. It's and that's the work of salt. If I had just left this zucchini in here without any salt, there would be some liquid, but not nearly as much as we're getting over here. Okay, so what we'll do is we have a strainer, okay, and I'm going to strain this into the sink. Then I'm going to rest this strainer on top so that the zucchini can continue to drip the excess liquid, and just a bit of some beets on this from a previous meal we had. We did wash it, but sometimes a little bit of the vegetable gets stuck in the netting. Wow, and I'm going to show you that close up again. It's so liquidy. It's so liquidy. Hi, OMG Pete, how's it going? Yeah, and welcome back to our show. We actually missed streaming last Sunday. We had a last minute plan on that we confirmed on Friday to take a getaway and go rent a cottage about an hour away from us, and we did some canoeing. To be honest, we probably could have had a day trip rather than a whole weekend and just return here. But it was a nice getaway. We did some barbecuing that weekend, and unfortunately, the Wi-Fi signal wasn't strong enough to stream. We could barely, we couldn't download or anything. It was too weak. But we're back, and also apologies again. Our schedule changed. Normally we stream Sundays, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. But we're going to a park tomorrow that's celebrating Canada's 150th birthday, and they're featuring free canoeing for everyone. And I discovered last weekend that I really enjoyed canoeing, so I thought, okay, we have to go, but we've missed a stream last weekend. We do have to make up for it. So today's the day to make up for it. Okay, so your question, Stickler 911, welcome back to our show. I wonder if letting the zucchini dry for a couple hours might make the cake even lighter. Might make it too dry as well. Well, so the thing about this recipe is that it does call for the use of almond milk, a half cup to 1 cup. And that tells me that you can sort of eyeball it and feel the texture to see if it's too lumpy. You can add a bit more of the almond milk. So I think that it's a bit flexible, so we can see how it goes. We won't have too much time to dry because the stream will continue. But since the stream started until now, which was wow, it's almost been half an hour, not quite, 25 minutes, 20, and we're getting all this liquid coming out, so we don't want that. Usually when you have a cake, your ingredients are dry, and your wet ingredients are limited to the egg, melted butter, and maybe some milk, but definitely not all this vegetable liquid. That's a lot. That's we're actually getting at least a half a cup. I wouldn't be surprised if we got even more than that after squeezing the liquid out. So it's very, and you can see because I'm using a clear bowl today. It's turned into, so this was a bowl of shredded zucchini. It's turned into stew because it's got so much liquid in it, and by adding the salt to it, the liquid is coming out of it. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, OMG, Pete. Yeah, our summer in Canada hasn't been very warm. We haven't had beach weather, and summer's almost over here. Yes, but we're enjoying this kind of crisp summery weather. And it's been raining a lot too, which is good for the garden. Yeah, but we haven't had much sun. Okay, so I'm just going to strain the vegetable in this colander, and I'm just going to go over the sink and do that, and then return it so that it can drip while I continue on with the other steps for our menu. Okay, and I'm going to get my spatula or whatever, wooden spoon, whatever, just to squeeze it. Yeah, but I can even return it to the bowl too, because everything, all the liquids will drip right into the bowl. Yeah, there's actually a lot of liquid. You can't see it, but maybe I can show you a little bit. Like a lot of liquid. I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but I think we're actually going to result in a whole cup of liquid coming out. Okay, I won't ponder over that. I'll just stick that on top of the bowl and just give it a little press. Yeah. Supposed to strain for an hour. We probably won't strain it for an hour. We'll just, by the time we return to it for the cooking, we'll just use it and we'll pat it dry with paper towel. But it's actually very, very wet. And also I mentioned too that we used homegrown zucchini versus store-bought. Store-bought, these are both from our garden, but this is more the size of what you get in the supermarket. So for perspective, this is our salt box, and it's like, that's the size. You can see my hand too, so I'm not a very large person. I'm a very average sized person, and it's, yeah, so this is huge. This is huge. Yeah, and we're gonna use some of this for the stir fry too, the pork. Okay, so I'm just pressing the zucchini through the strainer, and we'll just put that to the side. Okay. We're actually going to turn to the pork dish now, because we also have to let the pork sit in the baking soda to tenderize. So I'm going to the fridge and I'll grab the pork, and we also have baking soda, okay, and a bowl as well. All right, so I'm going to go to the fridge and grab the pork. Okay. Okay. So, this was frozen pork that was defrosted overnight, and it is still partially frozen, and I like that. I like using partially frozen meats for slicing, because I find that I get a nicer, it's easier to slice. The meat isn't so soft that it starts going gummy on you as you cut it. I like to cut or chop things that are hard, like vegetables, are easier. So by having half frozen meat, it actually makes it easier for slicing. And there's a really, really large wall of fat there. I'll cut that. Yeah, I mean, it tastes good, but it's we're going to try to be a bit more healthy and cut that. That's actually more than 1 centimeter thick. Quite a lot of fat there, but we'll just trim that off. There's still enough marbleization to give you a nice juicy pork flavor, but we just want to cut the excess off. Okay. All right. So I have my food waste bin over there, and after I cut this, I'm gonna have to wash my salmonella hands. And okay, let's be on the safe side. Let's cut this longitudinal first. And I probably need to sharpen this knife at some point. Okay. And if you're wondering why the size is like a brick, I actually bought a long pork loin, around 6 pounds, maybe 5 pounds, and it's fun to roast it and have lots of meat for a party, but for just our household here, we get so much of the same leftovers that I prefer to portion them off before I freeze it. So I cut them into sections, into approximately 1 pound or 2 pound sections, meal portions, and I freeze them separately, and then I can cook them in different ways. I prefer that, yeah. So we're just gonna, you can see in the webcam, I'm just gonna trim the fat. Yeah, all fat, yummy, yummy. Okay. I'm not gonna get 100%, just, just so that we're not eating. Because that doesn't really add much taste to it. It's just fat. Okay. But people do things with the fat. Like people fry with the fat. It is good. You can make a hash, like a potato hash, like cubed potato, and add a bit of fat in there to give it some flavor, because it's, got more of that meat flavor than your regular vegetable oil does. So there are uses for it too, but there's just so much of it that we don't really use it. Yeah. I have read online that people use it as moisturizer because it's very, very moisturizing. Yeah. Yeah, all this chunks of fat. I'm trying to salvage this little bit of meat there because I don't like to waste. I'll waste the fat. Because I have tried saving rendered fat, like when I made, when I braised pork or pulled pork in the slow cooker, a lot of fat rose to the surface. I let it cool down, and then I scooped the fat out, and then I saved it because I knew that the oil in the slow cooker had lots of flavors from all the seasonings that were added to the slow cooking, and I would use that for stir frying vegetables, just to give you that nice flavor. But I would always have so much left over, and I like to use up leftovers within a week. After that, they'll start going bad. You'll see like mold forming, and so there's just so much fat that it's not always easy to use up. But I don't like to waste either, so I try my best. So I'm really dedicated to like trimming this fatty pork. Yeah. Okay, so this piece I'll just show you over to closer to your I guess the small camera view, and trim some more fat off here. Yeah, all fat. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. So please remind me, what countries are you tuning in from, and what time zones are you in? I know I have it written down, and I was very curious who I might see in the chat room, because it's quite a different time than I'm used to streaming at. I know that for people in Asia, it's the middle of the night right now. It's a 12-hour time zone difference from the Eastern Standard Time Zone, and it's like they're fast asleep. It's like 3:30 a.m. I know in Singapore, and in Europe it's nighttime now. So yeah, I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll see some new people in the chat room, or yeah. Yeah. I remember the first time I streamed, I wasn't even showing up in the creative section because my husband and I were still new to this, and we didn't have all the settings straight. So what I'm going to do is just cut this into a thinner strip, and I'm just going to lay them flat, and I'm just going to start cutting away. I'm going to move this. Yeah, so you have a better view. Just cut it. Yeah. Yeah, so I like it I like it when it's half frozen. I find it's easier than when your meat is soft. Yeah. Yeah, my very first stream, this was back in December, I believe December 11th, and I had one viewer or two viewer because I wasn't found, and perhaps, you know, like, yeah, maybe I wasn't cooking anything interesting, and yeah, but then it was fun, like, to start to see viewers come on and say hi, and yeah, and get to know more people over time. Yeah. Hi, Anilia UK, how are you? And I think you might have been viewing some of my podcast. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't been playing those in a while, so I forgot what they're called. And you're from Toronto as well. That is great. I can see Toronto, so you can see the window on the left side of your screen. I look out, I can see Toronto. I'm just at the border. I am in Markham, so very, very close. Okay, yes, Stickler 911, you're from Chicago. Okay. Yes, and I think I might have mentioned too that Chicago is often known as like for people in Toronto, Chicago is known as like a larger version of Toronto, like a really nice large suburban city. And I really like Chicago, also because I have a good friend in Chicago. But I like it, like the lake that along the coast of it. And there's this there's this canal in the middle of downtown. There's that famous fountain that's featured in the theme song for Married with Children, that sitcom. So yeah, and I went to, I think it's called Wickers Park. Yeah, so, and the architecture is pretty nice in Chicago. Yeah, so the meat looks pretty small when it's not cut, but once you cut it, like the volume, because of all the air, it just sort of looks like a lot. Yeah, so I'll just put that in, and I'll keep cutting away. Yeah. So, Manilia UK from Toronto. So this year, as we know, is Canada's 150th birthday, and the city of Toronto is offering this free canoeing activity at, I believe, Rouge Urban Park, which is not far from the Toronto Zoo. And I'm really hoping to get out there tomorrow. I went to a cottage this last weekend in the Kawarthas region, which is very, very big, and it's just approximately an hour and a half east of Toronto for a weekend getaway. And I did some canoeing, and it had been at least over a decade, or maybe even 2 decades, since I went canoeing, and I had forgotten how much fun it is. It's when the water's calm, and you're in a canoe, you can reach places that you can't get to by foot, and it's just so peaceful. I love the water, so because of this free canoeing activity that's sponsored by the city, I'm hoping to participate in that. Well, one thing I don't like is big crowds. Like when things are free, you get like a lot of people, but I might go and see if I can handle that lineup. And if I don't get to canoe, we'll just make it a day trip with the dog and walk around, because I like any chance to get out in nature. Yeah. And the weather's really good for that. It's not too hot right now. It's around 21 degrees Celsius, which is just pretty much room temperature. So if you're using Fahrenheit or a different whatever system you're using for your temperature, it's like pretty much a notch warmer than room temperature. Pretty much it's room temperature. Oh yes, the movie Chicago was made in Toronto. A lot of movies are filmed in Toronto. I think Toronto is known as Hollywood North because it's cheaper. So I was a film extra twice, but it's not really worth it to be a film extra. Like, I was just in the background. I thought I would make some money. I could do homework. This was when I was in university. I could do homework while waiting. There's no acting involved. You're just in the background. Like, that's it. And I don't even know what I was in the background for. Like, people who are extras aren't told very much about what they're doing. We're very, very low on the totem pole. We're just told to show up. And I didn't even make any money because I had to pay the agency, I think, $90. And then they gave me enough projects to recover that, and they didn't give me anything else. So I never made any money doing that. But I remember I was on this set where New York taxi cabs were featured, and certain signage was changed to reflect American, I guess, like the American format and stuff. Yeah, so quite a lot of things are filmed. And I attended the University of Toronto, and that campus is often used for movies, and we'll often see those movie trailers parked outside. One of my classmates mentioned that he saw Joshua Jackson. He got famous from the sitcom Dawson's Creek like a long, long time ago. And yeah, one of my friends said he saw him, and like the actor just sort of like gave him a nod. And my friend said that he's really, really tall in real life. Yeah, so I think the movie Hairspray was also filmed there. A lot of movies were. There is this show, I'm going to say Orphan, I think called Orphan Black, and it's also filmed in Toronto. A lot of stuff is, Handmaid's Tale, that drama, Handmaid's Tale is filmed in Toronto, and like we can see the Civic Center. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Free equals crowds. But as long as, I guess the weather it's not hot out, so it's all right. And I don't know. And I tried to look up too, like if canoeing was offered on other weekends, like if I wanted to pay to participate, and it's not. You pretty much have to bring your own canoe. It's just that for this special event, the canoes will be supplied. So there aren't a lot of canoeing options in Toronto. There's canoeing downtown near the harbor front, and that's like right at the foot of Financial District, and it's pricey. I think it's $40 an hour. That's pretty hefty. Yeah, like I guess it's okay if you're only doing it for an hour, but if you go over, it'll cost more. Yeah, so I'm actually thinking of maybe next weekend going to a city called Port Perry, the Port Perry Marina. I read that it's maybe $7 an hour to rent a canoe. So yeah, and that's only 45 minutes from Markham. It takes me over an hour to get to downtown Toronto from Markham. So yeah, it's kind of nice to explore the area and go outside your backyard. Suits is in Toronto. Okay. Yeah. But it's not like we get a lot of celebrity sightings. Suits. So I think one of the princes in the royal family, I think it's Harry. I don't really follow pop culture. His girlfriend is in Suits, and she's American, but she has a home in Toronto because of the frequent filming. So that's sort of like the tabloid thing about Suits, is that Prince Harry's girlfriend is in Toronto, and people have spotted him. Because I worked with pork, I'm going to wash my hands, with soap and warm water. Yep. So, let's see. If you're new to our channel, we typically feature viewers' requests almost every week. Today isn't. I was going to do pizza last weekend, which was a recipe that one of our regular viewers, who is also a professional chef, provided. I was excited about that, but we missed last week's stream, and thought, since this week's stream isn't at our regular time, I didn't want to feature that. So it's sort of ad hoc that we're doing the chocolate zucchini cake, also known as German chocolate cake. But if any of you have any requests, let me know. Yeah, a friend of mine, one of my school friends, just learned about my channel, and I told her she can come over and eat after one of our streams, and we can feature something that she wants. So yeah, that's the same applies to all of you if there's something you want featured. So I got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Sorry, I'm just gonna check the amount. Sorry, that's not baking powder, that's baking soda. Baking soda, yep. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it. Hey, Easy Flow Elbow, Easy Flow Elbow, how's it going? Welcome to Cook for Fun TV. And please let us know what country you're tuning in from. The flags to your right and left represent countries that viewers have tuned in from since our show started. Yeah, and we're an international cooking community. I think we have people so far in the chat room from Chicago, Toronto, and I know a couple of other cities as well. Yeah, and so the flags represent the different countries. Okay, you're from Cali, so you're in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. I think you're 3 hours, so I'm in Eastern Standard Time Zone, so you probably just finished lunch, or you might be still having lunch. And okay, I'm going to, I'll get our tongs. Actually, I don't like using the tongs. I'll get our handy chopsticks. Yeah, so the cleaver that I was using earlier today is sort of a signature tool in our kitchen. I grew up using the cleaver. It's very versatile, and I like the weight of it. Yeah, and chopsticks too. I use chopsticks quite frequently. Yeah, I'm just mixing it. Just that I find that the tongs are a little bit large for this bowl, and I can get my chopsticks in there much more easily. Okay, and I was just mentioning Easy Flow Elbow that I do take viewers' requests. Yeah. So 2 weekends ago when we had our last stream, I made curry puff. That was a request by our viewer in Singapore. And curry puffs are a popular street food item in Singapore. It's pretty much like an empanada, which is, I guess, a Latin turnover filled with like a meat filling. Or even Jamaican patties, which it's like I have a weak spot for that. I love Jamaican patties, which again are like turnovers. with a savory meat filling of ground beef, Scotch bonnets, the herb thyme, and a few more of the seasonings, soy sauce, garlic, maybe some chicken broth powder, a bit of that MSG to give it, to enhance the flavor, okay? And I'm just going to add some cold water to that and stick that back in the fridge. The purpose of adding the baking soda was to help tenderize the pork, okay? So I'm gonna add water to it. And this goes in the fridge, so I'll just be right behind you. Okay, I'm just gonna, I kind of feel like I need to wash a bit more because of all the meat juices. We're returning to the cake and we're going to finish, we're gonna be working on the cake now. Okay, so if you just tuned in, you can see the colander under the menu box. We have, and I'm gonna wipe this down. I don't think I got meat juice anywhere, but I just wanna play it safe. Yeah. We have a colander with shredded zucchini that has been salted so that the moisture could be released, because we don't want a very wet cake batter. And just from letting it sit there, approximately 1/4 cup, or like maybe 3 to 4 tablespoons of liquid came out. So yeah, it's a very, very wet vegetable, and it's especially wet because the zucchinis from our garden, and we let it grow really big. So here's our zucchini. It's really, really huge, right? So for perspective, this is more of a regular size zucchini. This is a, we let this one grow. We just kept letting it grow. Yeah, for fun. Just wiping down this counter. We're not going to put anything directly on the counter. We're not doing any pastry cooking, but I just want to keep this clean. And same with the cutting board. All right. Okay. Don't know if we need the cutting board anymore, at least for now. So I'll let that rest at the back by the window. Okay. All right. So I've never made this zucchini cake before. That's my disclaimer. And why am I making a zucchini cake? Well, this is also a cake that's low in carbohydrates. And I mentioned in my caption under, and just down there, that is ketone. So my husband's on a ketogenic diet, which is a low carb diet. And he's only allowed a maximum 20 grams of carbs per day. That's really, really little. So that means he can't have bread, cakes, but he does like those foods when before he started this diet. So we're making a version that works for him, and we found this online, this recipe, and it's a zucchini based cake. So I'm just giving this zucchini a mix to sort of get as much liquid that we can out of it. Like, it's such a wet vegetable. So when I shredded it, it looked like a lot because there's air added to it when you shred it. But now that I'm getting like a lot of the water squeezed out of it, it's definitely more compact. It's yeah, there you go. There's like just so much liquid. I can probably do this for a long time. Okay, so I'm gonna do that while I sort of go over what the ingredients for. And if you hit or enter ! recipe, you'll get the links to the recipe. Yeah, I don't make them up. I mean, sometimes I change up recipes, but I always have a recipe as a reference. And it also helps the viewers too. Yeah, so I'm just sort of you can see in the little camera that I'm spreading the zucchini so that I could press it against the colander, and I'm going to pour this liquid out. Yeah, I can probably, if I was making a soup, I can probably use that. It's very healthy. But I started to pour it out, and it would be salty, but that's okay. Your soup has salt, and you add your water. I probably could have preserved that. Yeah, to maybe even flavor the pork stir fry, but that's all right. I'll remember for next time to use the leftover liquid. Okay, so for this recipe, we're using quite a bit of carb substitute. We're going to use almond flour, coconut flour. We're using coconut sugar because for this ketone diet, you can't use sugar. We're using coconut sugar, or like a sugar substitute. 4 eggs, baking powder, butter, and vanilla. We're even using whey powder. We're not sure why, but we had it. So here you go. Here's our whey. Yep. Oh, it's hidden there. There, it says whey. I'm not advertising, but I like to, if I'm going to show it, I might as well show it better on the screen. Milk and salt. Okay. So and just by doing that, we got another 3 tablespoons out. So I'll just keep throwing that out. Yeah. If I had thought about the soup idea, I would have preserved it. Yeah. So I'll remember for next time. It's already salted and it's flavorful, it's nutritious. A lot of nutrients are seeping out of that. Okay, like I squeezed another tablespoon out just from doing that. Okay, I'll give it another squeeze. And then I'm going to melt some butter. You won't see it, I will move the camera when we do the stir fry. Yeah. I'm gonna melt some butter. Okay, so I'll leave that to the side there. You can sort of see a little bit of it. I'm going to the fridge, grabbing some butter. I'm gonna grab a little skillet to start melting that butter. I'm just gonna use this really big skillet because after when we start making the pork, we can use this as well. So we'll use it to melt the butter and also to stir fry. Eating healthy can be so expensive, Almond. You're correct. So I haven't been looking at the bills for this. This is sort of my husband's new way of life. It's better if I don't see that, but you're right. Almond flour and coconut flour, coconut butter, they aren't cheap, and we actually made our own. So one time when when we ran out of coconut flour, and I looked up online, like make your own, sorry, not coconut, almond flour, make your own, and you can grind up your own. We used a food processor. It's almond flour is simply grounded up almond. Or milled almond. It's not like, yeah, it's just in a different format. It's just almond, and we had a lot of almond, so we just made it. I think we probably save a bit of money too, but almond isn't cheap either. Almond's pricey, but it's probably cheaper than buying almond flour because the packages, like this is coconut, they're really small versus our big sack of flour. Yeah, so no, it's not cheap. An $80 cake. I hope not. I don't know I haven't seen the bills for, I wonder if there's one lying around here. Okay, I don't, yeah, it's not cheap, but I will find out one day and then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna stuff you with like fruit vegetables so that you don't have cravings for for like imitation cake. Okay, so I'm gonna get our butter. Yeah, the zucchini was free. Okay. That's right. Well, I mean, we bought the seeds. I guess the seeds were under $2. So we've got butter and a half cup of butter. That's a lot, a half cup of butter. I do have a half cup of butter. Oh, I'm gonna just pretend this is a half cup of butter. Yeah, okay. And I'll just put this on the stove and let it melt while we work on some other preparation steps. I really hope it's not an $80 cake. Yeah. Like the fact that a bag of almond could be like 14 bucks. I think that's a lot too. I know that almond butter will cost more. True, you'll save on medical bills later by eating healthier now. So, Halle Berry, the actress, is famous for looking great for her age. And in an interview, when asked what her, I guess, secret is, and it's that she was diagnosed with diabetes at a pretty young age, and she didn't want to be relying on insulin, so she adopted the ketone diet to naturally reduce her sugar intake because carbs converts to sugar, and that's sort of her secret. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll convert. I don't know if I will. But my husband's been pretty dedicated. He's been doing it for almost 2 months, and he's very strict on it. And this is a person who is a former cake lover, bread lover, pasta lover. So yeah. Okay. So I have that on minimum at the back. Okay. And let's get a mixing bowl out. It's not a mixing bowl, it's just a really big basin. Okay. You prefer almond butter over peanut butter. You know what? So do I. I'm allergic to peanut butter, so I can't have peanut butter. But there's this peanut butter substitute, which is made out of soy. It's made out of soy nuts, which I believe are soybeans, and it's quite good. I think it's called pea butter. Oh, it's called Wow Butter. Wow Butter. It's quite good. Yeah. My sister-in-law said that it tastes better than peanut butter because her daughter, my niece, is also allergic to peanut butter. Apparently, quite a lot of Canadians are. I think 1% Canadian are allergic to peanut. And yeah, so this is my substitute. Yeah, it's made of it's toasted soy spread. That's what it is. Yeah, but I don't think I've tried almond butter. Yeah, it definitely costs more than peanut butter. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little nervous because I only wrote out the ingredients. I think it's just to mix everything together. So, okay. Let's get our almond flour, our coconut flour. Okay. Measuring cups. Okay. So 2 cups of almond flour. I think we're a little bit shy of that. We're not quite 2 cups there, but I thought I'm going to make do with it. Yeah, I'm not going to stress out over a little bit of a difference compared to the recipe, because in our kitchen we do a lot of substitution. We really believe that you can make cooking work for you, especially if you're tuning in from a country where certain ingredients might not be available. And I see Mr. Cook for Fun might be fishing for some more almond butter to give me perhaps, but I think we're good. And if we're a little bit shy, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. We do a lot of substitution in this kitchen, and we preach it because we realize that certain ingredients might not be available where you are. And so I'll be honest, I wouldn't know how to substitute this to a non-keto version. I would just say get any regular chocolate cake recipe. It'll say to use flour, all-purpose flour. But the proportion will be quite different. So this is a little bit, this recipe is a bit special in that it's very specific for this diet. Yeah, but we're gonna try it out, and I can tell you the difference in result compared to like what a cake using, you know, carbs tastes like compared to this. So okay, I'm not gonna level it off. So that's approximately a cup. Oh, I'm getting the signal from Mr. Cook for Fun to make it exact. So we're a little we're a little different. Okay, so that's a cup. Okay, and this is definitely not a cup here, but I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm just gonna. Oh, I'm getting the signal. I gotta make it exact. Okay. So our show today is a little bit different. Getting a bit of backseat cooking. Yeah, okay. So we have, sorry, you can't see because if I were left-handed, you can see better. I wouldn't be blocking the lens, but that's approximately 3/4 cups. And yeah, we're gonna make it exact. So I did mention I wouldn't worry about it, but yeah, Mr. Ketone wants it exact. So this was homemade almond flour, and this is almond flour, like already milled. They're the same thing. It's just pure almond ingredients, blanched almonds, and it's just a finer grain. Yeah. So I'm gonna open this up. Okay. Great. Ooh. Okay. I'm not gonna level it off, so that's like just like a cup. Okay. Great. Okay. Very gotta be careful. There's not much to work with to seal this. So here you go, you can seal it. Okay, wow, it's actually pretty, it's gonna be pretty thick or big, this cake, and 1/3 cup of coconut flour. Okay. So here's half a cup. I'm gonna get a 1/3 cup measure. Okay. Oops. Okay. So, Nilia, can you tell what... Oh, I think I know who you are, Nilia. Okay. Just... yeah. Yep. I know who you are. Welcome to our show. Okay, so we have... So, I was mentioning that I wanted to point out that this bag here, if you're tuning in from Toronto, is a milk bag. Just a regular, I'll show you. And I often feature this on the show. I often show this off. In Canada, our milk comes in bags. I know it's different elsewhere. And these are very, very sturdy bags to ensure that the milk is leak-proof. So I actually save them because they're just great for just stuffing things in. They're really sturdy bags. They're just so strong. So we actually stuffed our coconut flour in one of these bags. Yeah, okay, so just gonna pass a butter knife to Mr. Cook for Fun. All right, okay. So, yeah, it's always good to find different uses for things. And you can save your containers for all kinds of things, storing food, or if you have a party and there's lots of leftovers, it's nice to have some containers handy to give to your guests so they can help themselves to pack foods. Oh, that is true, Stickler. Yeah, yes. We don't see that in Canada, but I've seen that on TV and on American television where missing people photos are on the back of milk cartons. Yeah, is that very common, or it used to be common? Yeah. I have visited the US before and been to the grocery store, and I remember buying jugs of milk, but I don't know if I actually saw one in real life, but maybe on TV. So that's approximately 1/3 cup of coconut flour. And coconut flour is just finely ground or milled flour. Okay, great, okay. Yeah, so we have a lot of nuts going on here. We've got almond nut and coconut. So it's a very, very nutty cake. Yeah. So Nilia was the one telling me about Halle Berry. Yeah. Oh, okay, milk consumption is way down. I wonder why. So is dairy farming very big in the US? Milk consumption is quite high in Canada, and the milk, I guess the dairy farmers of Ontario or the different provinces are always promoting milk so that the farmers could, to sustain that industry. And we're taught in school, or we're taught, milk is highly promoted in Canada. Like all these commercials saying milk, it does the body good, and all these celebrities showing off their milk mustache. Every year, most residents in Ontario get a milk calendar where every month there's a recipe involving milk featured. Yeah, we're told to drink like 3 cups of milk a day, especially for teenage girls, because that's the stage in life where we'll absorb a lot of milk. It will help help with our bone strength and help prevent osteoporosis in the future. So milk is more popular for cheese and beef, and milk is being substituted by, interesting. So almond and soy milk are the pricier milks in Canada. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep this out actually because we'll need it, but I don't like to keep perishables out for too long. Okay, we're going to add some coconut sugar. It's too bad that for today's stream I can't really explain the substitutions because I can't say that you can substitute this 1-for-1 all-purpose flour because it's such a different recipe than a classic chocolate cake recipe. Okay, 1/3 cup of coconut sugar. So this is supposed to be healthier than granulated sugar or white sugar. Yeah. Okay. Smells good. It's got a maltier smell, almost like maple syrup. Yeah. Yeah. Just put it right in. Okay. I have no idea how this will turn out. So I'm basically putting together dry ingredients. in cocoa powder. This is pure cocoa powder. And half a cup. So I don't know if you can see. You can't see. It's too dark, but it's going to be shy of half a cup. Let's just toss that in. So we're actually more like a quarter cup, but I'll just use as much as I can, and that's okay. I think we'll still get a lot of flavor out of that. And I'm going to use the back of this chopstick to sort of scrape it out. So I've managed to scrape out approximately 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and that's it. We're gonna have to buy a new tin of cocoa powder. Yeah. And because it's so finely milled, I think it will release a lot of flavor. So, Science 101. When you're preparing your ingredients, like say vegetables or cutting up garlic, the smaller you make the pieces, the more aromas will get released from your ingredient. So if you remember your science class, by cutting it up into more pieces, you're increasing the surface area. So what does that mean? So say we have this, I'm going to show you a demonstration right now. Okay. I guess our knife has a lot of meat on it. Let's get a fresh knife, so because we are going to use some zucchini for the stir fry. So here you just have this one surface. After you cut it, we've exposed it. Now we have one surface here, 2 surfaces here, and an extra surface here. We've exposed it, so more it can release more aromas because we've opened it up. More surfaces, more aromas could be released. So when your ingredient is finely milled or cut up into smaller pieces, it can release more flavor. Okay. All right. It's also, actually we might get quite a bit of cocoa powder because the walls of this has cocoa powder stuck to it. Yeah. Okay. We're also going to add baking powder and salt and some of that whey, that protein. Okay, and I also, when I took a glance back there, I saw that the butter's melted, so I'll turn off that heat and bring it to the front so that it can cool down. Oh, so we pretty much have almost a half cup of cocoa. I don't know exactly because I'm not measuring it, but there was so much cocoa powder that I was dislodging from the sides. And a trick I could do is add some milk here because part of the ingredients involve milk, and let that dissolve some of the cocoa powder to get every last grain of cocoa powder. Waste not, want not. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to get the butter. Okay, just move it off the stove. Okay, right there. All right. Okay, so baking powder. Where did you go? Right here. Okay, baking powder, 1 tablespoon. Okay. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. and a third cup of the whey protein. This is quite different from a classic cake recipe, adding the whey powder. All right, let me make sure it's pure with, oh, it's actually flavored with chocolate. It says at the top, it says chocolate. So I guess because we're making a chocolate cake, that's okay. I hope it's not gonna be weird, the taste. We're adding like, okay. Well, I'll just carry on. 1/3 cup of whey powder. Okay. It's said to use unflavored, but this happens to be chocolate, and we don't have another bin. I'm gonna add it to it. So this is quite an interesting recipe. I'm wondering if the whey powder will help the cake bind. Yeah. All right. Okay. And 3/4 tablespoon of salt. Okay. So we're done with the dry ingredients, and we're going to separately mix the wet ingredients. Okay. Oh, if I were left-handed, you can see better in that small camera. I'm just going to eyeball 3/4 teaspoon rather than use like a really specific measuring spoon for that. Okay, great. I'm a little nervous. I can't imagine or envision what this is going to turn out like because it's very, very different from any other recipe. So I'm just giving it a shake. All right, okay. Put that to this side. Now we're going to mix our wet ingredients, which are 4 eggs, butter, vanilla, and milk. Not too many ingredients. And I'm going to grab the milk, eggs from the fridge. And when I do that, I'm first going to get the milk and then put the milk in, grab the eggs. So sort of one trip, 2 birds, 1 stone. So milk. Okay, so a 1/2 cup of milk. Okay. The recipe said to use almond milk. I'm just using cow milk. Dairy. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to be a really lumpy cake. Okay. I might need to add a bit more milk, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to grab the 4 eggs. Okay. And I should turn on the oven. Hey, 325. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So we actually save our eggshells because we have a garden and eggshells are a very excellent fertilizer and it's free for your plants, so we save them. Yeah. My parents go so far as to save compost and they bury it right into their soil. And neighbors have commented too that for the same crops that they're growing, my parents seem to be getting healthier plants and more harvest, so I think it works. I used to grind up the shell. I used to wash them. I think a piece fell in there. We're gonna end up eating some of that. Oh no, it dropped on my finger. Okay, I'll put that aside. Wash my goopy fingers. Okay, and I'm going to, I was thinking of using the whisk. Like I was thinking of using an electric whisk, but I think I might be able to manage with chopsticks. I'm wondering because, yeah, I'll just use chopsticks to be I was going to use a hand mixer for everything, but I think the almond flour and the coconut flour will be easy to mix because they're just nuts. They're already solid. They're not going to dissolve. It's a very different from flour. Okay, so I mixed that. I am actually going to proceed to mix the wet and the dry together. I haven't touched the butter yet because I have a feeling the butter is still warm. Yeah, I have a feeling it's still warm. So I have a towel, I'll put that in the front. I have a feeling it's still a bit warm. So I'll mix the other ingredients. Okay, I might need to use a mixer, but I'll hope not. Oh, I do see that piece of eggshell. I caught it. Okay. And I'll just use this spatula. We'll see if the almond flour is harder to mix. I wouldn't think so. I would think that whatever you do, your almond flour is gonna, I don't think it's, I just feel that nuts don't soak up liquid the way your all-purpose flour will. So I don't know if whisking it with an electric mixer is going to be helpful. So I'll see how we go. I'm using a spatula, which probably isn't the best. A wooden spoon would be better, but I'll see how I feel. I mean, I can always use the mixer. It's no big deal. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Is almond flour harder to mix? So far, it just seems like flour. But it's a nut. It's not smooth like flour is. Like I'm getting more of a paste. Like it's not really like a cake batter. It's really pasty because it's just nuts in here. Coconut flour, which is actually milled coconut, and milled almond nut mixed with liquid. It's not. So it's more of a paste. It's not like it's kind of chunky. Yeah. So let's add our zucchini. Okay. Our zucchini's going in. I've never tried a vegetable-based cake before, like a chocolate cake before. So yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. So okay, I'm going to get a wooden spoon because I don't want to put too much pressure on the silicone part of the spatula. I will be using the spatula too to scrape every last drop of batter off the side of the mixing bowl. Okay, but I'll just put it here for now. Okay, just sort of, like the wooden spoon is more heavy duty. I could churn it. I can really work at it, so yeah. Oh, I haven't added the vanilla yet. Okay. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to grab the vanilla. Okay, I'll just keep mixing it. So I'll show you close up. It's quite thick. So it's very different from cake batter. Let me try to describe this pastiness. It's very grainy. I'm thinking hard. It's very grainy. It's almost like if you pour milk into cereal and you let the cereal sit there for a very long time, your cereal will dissolve. It's kind of like that. Like it's kind of like that. Okay, I'm gonna get the vanilla. So I learned this on another cooking show. So the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and your cap is approximately a teaspoon. If you don't want to take out your measuring spoon, so I fill that and just pour it in. Okay. Okay, mix it away. And I'm wondering if this butter is hot. It's not hot anymore, it's a bit warmish. Okay. I'll just keep mixing that. So this is our chocolate cake. Hi there, hello, how are you? And welcome to Cook for Fun TV. And please let us know what country you're tuning in from. And the flags to the left and right of your screen represent countries that people have tuned in from since our show started. So we're an international community and we take viewers' requests and we have explored foods from the world. Yeah. So today is not a viewer's request. It's more of a in-house request for a ketone-friendly meal today. Ketone. It refers to ketogenic diet. My husband's on a low-carb diet, only 20 grams of carbs allowed per day. So this cake has no flour in it. It's got, in place of flour, there's almond flour and coconut flour. Yeah, but 2 weeks ago we did a stream featuring curry puff, a request by our Singaporean viewer, and curry puff is a popular snack available in Singapore, and that was really good. I have a lot of fun trying out viewers' requests because it lets me explore more foods and get to try more delicious foods too, so it's a lot of fun. So Stickler says, I find whenever I try paleo or ketone recipes, I need to adjust the moisture content. It never seems to be right. Whenever I make a paleo pancake for my girlfriend, they are always either too wet or too dry. You may need to experiment. So I have no idea. So it's very, very pasty. If you have any comments, Stickler, based on your experience with making such low-carb recipes, let me know. If this is not too bad. It's quite comparable to a cake batter, but obviously I don't know what the outcome will be. Like with baking, it's science. It's not like, I don't know unless I have experience with the proportions. And I'm going to just throw our butter in. But before I do that, I'm going to grease this bundt pan. It's called a bundt pan, where you flip it over and you'll get this shape. Yeah. I don't think I need to use this, but the recipe said to use it, and I borrowed this from my parents just to use it for the show. So I'm going to grease it. The proper way of greasing is to get a paper napkin and rub it, but I'm just gonna throw a lot of grease on there because I don't want it. I don't know. I think it's safer that way, so that when I flip it over, it will actually come out and not get stuck. I'm kind of paranoid about like baked goods getting stuck to the pan, but it's not pleasant, and then your cake could easily end up cracking. So I tend to over grease my baking pans. Oh, when will your cake arrive? Well, I think the cake takes 15 minutes to bake, and yeah. And I'll try not to eat it all. But but I'll serve you on the stream before we end it. Yeah. And how's it going, AR Maestro? Yeah, and thanks for tuning in. I know today's show isn't happening at our regular time. We usually stream Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we've made a schedule change today because we want to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday, and there's this canoeing activity happening, and I really want to go. Yeah. Yeah, it does look similar to cake batter, so I hope it does work. Oh, good idea. I can use a stick of butter and just rub it. That's true. I just took some of this melted butter, and I know I'm over greasing, like 100% I'm over greasing, but I like doing that. Yeah. I like it when I flip the cake pan over, the cake just plops right out, just falls right out. Yeah. It's just like, I fear that moment when the cake won't fall out, and then I'm thinking, oh no, it's stuck and it's gonna just break if I try to get it out. So I wanna alleviate that possibility. Yeah, so I'm super greasing it. Yeah. There's this store called Williams Sonoma. It's like a houseware store. I guess it's got a lot of kitchenware in it, and they sell these bundt pans. Like this is called a bundt pan, something that you turn over into the design, for really expensive. I think close to $100 Canadian, maybe like 75 American. Like, that's a lot of money for a pan. I don't think this was that much. My parents probably got it from like a department store, like not so expensive. And the ones in the store, Williams Sonoma, they're shaped like castles, and they've got flower designs on it. Really, really fancy stuff. So your cake comes out really, really pretty, but this will do. It's not bad. Okay, so I'm a bit nervous. I hope it seems too easy, like, to make this cake. So tell me about some of the recipes that you've tried that are paleo or keto for your girlfriend, Stickler. Yeah, and how long has she been on this diet? Yeah. I find that it's pretty hard. Like, this diet isn't easy to maintain. And I'm not on this diet, so when it comes to eating, it's like we're eating different things. It's not the same cooking separately. It really isn't. Yeah, I kind of miss it, but it's just a matter of adapting. Like, I used to have the habit of doing something with carbs, like pasta, rice, or bread. Like letting the dough rise for bread, or making a cake. And the options are very, very different. And I'll still do that, but making it for one person is very, very different. Which reminds me, I did want to make some rice for this stream to go with the pork. So yeah. So I'll do that after I get this cake in the oven. Put the rice on for one portion. Not the same, but it's okay. Maybe one day I will convert to this diet. Then my show will be a keto, but I don't know. I really like rice and bread. They're very, very tasty. Yeah. So I'm gonna just stir this up. Okay, Nelia tried paleo coconut cookie. You're skeptical. Oh. My husband made this ketone cake in a cup. Basically, he got a mug and he mixed everything up and put in the mug and microwaved his cake, and it came out, and it was easy. Like, he didn't have to worry about heating up an oven. And it was a single portion, so it made cleanup really easy. And that got him really excited because he was missing his cake. So that was like a recipe. I'll post that later because it's pretty good. You don't have leftovers to deal with. Like, dealing with cake leftover, it's always very cluttery in the fridge. Yeah, so it's nice to have a single portion and then you're done with it. And then the next time you want to eat it, just make it again if it's a small portion. Well, thank you, Nelia. I do hope it turns out. I never want to disappoint on the stream. That's the thing. So that's always my disclaimer that I've never tried this before. I'm hoping it'll turn out because we'll have to eat it. But we're using good ingredients. We've got almond flour, coconut flour, eggs, butter, zucchini, cocoa powder, coconut sugar. So it will taste like a combination of those ingredients. But how that actually turns out, we're yet to find out. But it does look like cake batter. It's very, yeah, it's got the right consistency. All right, so let's pour it into the bundt pan. Okay. And it must have been over a decade since I've used this. And it's not super runny, so I'm going to turn as I go. It's heavy. It's heavy when I hold this. It's not filling the bundt pan. It's only 1/3 full. So I hope that doesn't affect anything when I try to turn it over, because there's going to be this gap. HCG diet. What does that stand for? HC. And I try to make paleo my lifestyle type of eating. I don't stay off carbs completely because that's just insane. Gotta have some rice or pasta sometimes. But my favorite paleo dish is a beef broccoli stir fry with cauliflower rice. Yum. Beef and broccoli is always a good combination. Beef, yeah. Like when you get really maybe like sirloin beef or something that's tender, like a good flank, something nice. And yeah, beef is just really, really nice. And then the broccoli gives it a nice crunch. Cauliflower rice, it's all right. I like regular rice, but yeah, my husband makes a lot of cauliflower rice, and we're always buying cauliflower because a lot of recipes call for cauliflower rice. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good one. Beef with cauliflower. And is there a bit of and if you add a bit of ginger to that, that's quite nice too. That's a nice combination. Beef with a bit of ginger. Yeah, and your other ingredients like soy sauce, garlic. Yum. Have you tried zoodles, making zucchini noodles? Yeah, so like this would be a really good zucchini to work with your vegetable peeler. You get a lot of zoodles out of that. It's not the same though. It's not the same as pasta. It doesn't have that al dente, chewy texture. Yeah, but like, I'm sure it's a lot more healthier. Human chorionic gonadotropin. I have to say that properly, like I have to say it with conviction. Human chorionic gonadotropin. Human chorionic gonadotropin. Human chorionic is it like gonadotropin? Gonadotropin, gonadotropin, or gonadotropin, gonadotropin, human chorionic gonadotropin, human chorionic gonadotropin. I don't know. I have to hear it, but that's a pretty hard word to say. I'll have to look it up after the stream. Ginger and kimchi in your stir fry. Kimchi is supposed to be a superfood. Because of the fermentation, there's a lot of very healthy bacteria in it, and it's good for you. Yeah. I like fresh. I like kimchi that's not super fermented. Like, I know that when it becomes super fermented, it's good to use in soups. But I do like it. Like I like the kimchi when the cabbage is still crunchy. I know after a period of time it gets softer with the fermentation, and it's it's not as crunchy. Yeah, I like it crunchy. I haven't had it in a while. That reminds me, I have to either make it or get some. Yeah, yummy. Okay, so you can see. So it didn't fill the bundt pan, so it's gonna be a really shallow cake. And it's very thick. It's that's why I'm using my spatula to flatten it. So I don't even know if the bottom is gonna be flat. I have to try my best with the spatula to smooth it down. So we might have a lopsided cake. Yeah, so I'll try my best. Like, what I'll do is I'll shake it to help settle it naturally, and maybe that will help. I totally know this is not flat. Okay. I'll just keep doing that. Nothing compares to pasta. It's really good. We have made fresh pasta on the stream. We made noodles and we made bow ties. It's so good. We just use a couple of ingredients. We use semolina flour and egg, and that's it. It's really, really pure, and it's so good. And Nilia tried quinoa or konjac. So konjac is another, I guess, low carb type of noodle. I think it's made of sweet potato flour. It's a lower carb version. It's similar to glass noodles that's used in this Korean appetizer dish called japchae. This glassy noodle. It's very like elastic bands. It's kind of chewy. It's like elastic bands, and it's supposed to be a low carb version. Yeah. But I haven't tried quinoa pasta before. Yeah, and I didn't know quinoa was a paleo safe, a paleo friendly or keto friendly ingredient. HCG is produced during pregnancy. Oh, okay. It is made by cells formed in the placenta. Oh, okay. Which nourishes the egg after it has been fertilized, and it. Oh, okay. So this diet, is it actually helpful for people who want to get pregnant without fertility treatments? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, natural methods are always good. Yeah. Okay. So I believe our oven is preheated, And we simply bake this for 45 minutes. Okay, so let's do it. So I'll show you a close-up of that. It's a really pasty looking batter. You can see like lumps. You can see, and those lumps are attributed to the almond flour and the coconut flour, like the nuts, because they don't, it's not like a fine, it's not finely milled like flour is. Yeah. I can't tip it or else I'll pour it onto my computer, but you can see it in the smaller camera. Okay, so into the oven we go. Okay. So I put our oven timer for 45 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna make the stir fry. All right, so let's grab some more bowls and we're gonna mix our sauce together. Okay. So we always do that whenever we have something baking. We cook another item in between so that we're not sitting here twiddling our thumbs waiting for our cake to finish baking. So we're gonna work on our Szechuan pork stir fry. Okay, I'm actually gonna reuse our zucchini bowl. Actually, I don't have to wash it because it just has zucchini. Oh no, this has egg in it, so just give this a rinse. But that doesn't really hurt we're gonna end up cooking the pork dish and all the sauces that go in it, so that's fine. But I gave it a rinse, and I'll grab our cutting board. Okay. I have to rinse our cleaver because the cleaver is signature to our stream. So yeah, I have to do that. Okay. Okay, the towel is missing. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there's actually a lot of ingredients involved in this stir-fried dish. It's a lot of preparation and very little actual cooking. Okay, and so the first step that we did earlier in today's stream is slicing the pork up and coating it with baking soda and adding some water just to cover it up, the pork up, in order to tenderize the pork. Now we're just gonna chop up vegetables. We're gonna chop up zucchini. Yeah, I can do all of it, or maybe just a little bit more than this. Carrot. This orange pepper, and we also have water chestnut in the fridge. Going to cut up the vegetables and put it into this bowl. So make sure you can see that, at least a part of it in the screen. Okay. And the recipe didn't actually call for these vegetables, but you can do what you want in a stir fry. Yeah, and I'm going to do these half moons and then cut it in 1/3. Yeah, so I want each piece to have some skin on it. Yeah. Okay, so just slicing it up. And these don't need to be cooked for too long because it's a very ripe zucchini, fresh from the garden. Okay, so vegetables. Okay, and okay, I'll add more because we have it. So Stickler, how long has your girlfriend been on the diet for? Yeah. It's real dedication to be on it for a long time, I find. It's a lifestyle change. Yeah. And it's challenging too when you eat out, or if you're going to a party with friends. Like the options are limited. There might not be foods that like she can eat when she's out. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's definitely worth it. Like if the health benefits are showing. Okay, we've got lots of zucchini. Oh, and I need onions too, so I'll grab those later. There are lots of carrots here. I'm actually gonna peel them. We actually have a couple of spoiled carrots, so these are bad. So they're gonna go in the compost. I'm gonna peel these quickly. Okay. Okay. I normally don't peel carrots. I'm just peeling these because they are older, and also they were in the same bag as a carrot that spoiled, so I just want to make sure that I get off anything that might be contaminated from the spoiled carrot. But otherwise, you don't need to peel carrots. In fact, this is not skin that I'm peeling. It's actually part of the vegetable. It's just that the outer layer it's not even a layer. On the outside, it's been weathered. So I see some spoilage there. I gotta cut that off. I might see if it will actually use this carrot. I'll make sure I give that a good washing for both carrots before using them. Yeah. The outside that you see is weathered, but it's edible, and it's actually very nutritious. I learned that the majority of nutrients in a vegetable is stored under the epidermal layer or the skin. So if you have fruits like apples, pears, it's good to eat the skin or potatoes, because a lot of the nutrients are stored right beneath the skin. So yeah, it's just that I'm peeling it because they're kind of old and they were in the same bag as a carrot that had spoiled. So want to make sure it's safe to eat. Okay, clean this up. Oh wow, 45 days, 60 pounds. Oh, it does work very well, but you do have to be disciplined. I'm a foodie, and watching her on the HCG diet basically eliminates my ability to make her any meals. It's hard, but good for her, and that is quite an achievement to see those results. A lot of people like struggle with like getting results. So yeah, and it also, the discipline is good for you, like good for her too, and just it's such a motivator to experience results like that. Wow. So for 45 days. Okay. And then what happens after 45 days? And is this something that's monitored by her doctor? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's tough. I understand, because my husband's on the ketone diet. I'm not. So, like, when I'm cooking for myself, and then I might just end up eating keto myself because I'll want to cook for him, and so I'll be eating that too. But like my body hasn't adapted to it, so I get more hungry than he does. He actually gets hungry less often. I think that's a side effect of the diet where your body gets used to feeding itself off of like your fats. Whereas when you're not on the diet, your body wants you to eat carbs to feed itself. Yeah, so yeah, I'm often hungry. Yeah, so I'm just cutting these, doing a bias cut for the carrots. Yeah. I'm loading up on the vegetables because my husband won't be eating this with like rice. He'll just be eating the pork with vegetables. So yeah, I might actually cook all this. I don't know. I actually don't. I find that stir-fried zucchini gets a bit soggy, so I'm going to be careful not to overcook the zucchini. Yeah. And zucchini leftovers don't maintain the same texture as freshly cooked zucchini. It's just not as crunchy. It's kind of, I don't really like soggy vegetables. Okay, I'm going to give this a rinse, cut it. And then I'm going to grab some onions too. Okay. Okay. Use a smaller knife just to get into that and pull out the seeds. Yep. You're going to see the trash. I'll hide it. So how's the weather like in Chicago? It must be really nice. It's not very far from Toronto. It's a pretty short plane ride. And some people even take road trips to go to Chicago. Yeah. I've never driven to or taking a road trip to Chicago, but I know it's possible. And my husband wants to he wants to take a road trip to nearby cities, like near to Toronto, that have a baseball stadium and watch a baseball stadium. Like he wants to take a road trip and watch a baseball game at each of the cities we go to. We haven't done that, but that's sort of like a dream, and so maybe we'll make that happen. If possible, would like to take our dog with us too, because yeah, we don't like to leave him alone or leave him with people. Like we miss him when we go away. I also don't like my peppers overcooked too. I actually like the taste of raw pepper too, so they will just be lightly cooked. And I'm not doing anything special with them. I'm just gonna cut them up. I will julienne them. I think I'll have to cut them in smaller pieces and then just proceed to julienne them. Yeah. So this recipe is all preparation, and then for the sauce, you basically mix everything together. Yeah. And then it all goes on the grill, and yeah, but it's very tasty. I quite like this. This recipe came from the American Test Kitchen. The link that I posted, if you hit !recipe, is a WordPress site, because you need a subscription to access the American Test Kitchen site. So somebody else accessed it, they copied the recipe, put it on the WordPress site, so that just makes it easier for all of you to view that way. Yeah, it's no fun if there's like a condition to, I like things to be readily available. 85 degrees. Okay. I actually don't know what that is because I observe temperature in Celsius. Yeah, but it sounds like I know it's not far from Toronto, so I am imagining that it is summery, but not hot. Not very, very hot. Just very nice and warm, or a little bit crisp and with a bit of wind. That's what I'm imagining because it's near the water as well. You're watching the largest air and water show in America outside. Oh, that is cool. Wow. I hope it's safe. I hope there's no accident. But yeah, you're watching it outside your window. Okay, so I'm guessing that you live by the lakeshore. Yeah. There's a lot of, there are lots of access to the lake in Chicago. That's really, really nice. I believe there is a road called Lakeshore Boulevard or something to that effect. Like I recall taking a bus in Chicago that went along the lake. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, lots of... Oh, thanks for the conversion. Oh, that's really nice. That's actually warm. That's nice. I like that weather. That's summer weather. We're not summer. We are room temperature right now. Yeah, that's really, really nice. And thanks for the conversion. That's very considerate of you. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Because some people expect you to just know Fahrenheit, but that's very, very nice. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So we have vegetables cut up. I'm going to give my hands, and onions. Great, I'm going to give my hands a rinse and get some onions. We have half an hour left for the cake. I think that's good timing. I think we're going to, our stir fry will sort of meet that time. I got these super small onions, so yeah. We bought a large sack for $1. Yeah, it's handy so that you can usually finish up an onion and not have to store half of it, but they're also a lot of work to peel. Yeah, but it's all right, you get used to it. But onions is a common ingredient in a lot of foods. So they're good and they're healthy too. So I'm just gonna cut them in half first and then peel them with my hands. There's no easy way to peel onion. I read online, you cut it vertically, like longitudinal direction, and that helps, rather than like crosswise in half. That lengthwise actually helps, but it's still not easy. It's still like takes a while, but it's all right. Yeah. I've gotten used to cooking that it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't mind spending the time to cook. Yeah. I like having leftovers. I like not having to, like, I can cook in my pajamas. Like, I don't have to get dressed and hop into the car and go to a restaurant and line up or wait. Like, I like that. I can just work with what I have in the kitchen, in the comfort of my home. Yeah, and I think in general, if your girlfriend's on the HCG diet, a lot of it's convenient to cook. It's less convenient to go to a restaurant. Yeah. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm reaching over. It's our compost. Our city has a compost program every Thursday. There is recycling and compost pickup, and every second Thursday there's garbage pickup. So we're encouraged to compost and recycle. So I can put this bag in our compost bin, which is a green bin, and yeah, it will get collected. And then there's also a program to pick up the compost. We can go to a depot. We can grab large bins, buckets, and collect free compost for our garden. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, and you usually see like a lot of people lining up for free compost. Yep. Yeah. That came in handy. Mr. Cook for Fun built a garden bed, a raised garden bed. It's kind of like a coffin that's above ground. It's actually around 3 feet high. So it's above ground. Just imagine a coffin above ground, and it's filled with soil. And so our garden bed is raised, and it's filled with compost, twigs, and potting soil. And the idea is that it will retain moisture better so that you don't have to water as often. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it's sort of experimental. We've never done it before, and my husband was really excited about it. So he built the garden beds, and yeah. Okay. So I had half dried onion skin, so I'm just peeling off the top half. I'm not wasting the bottom part. I'll clean them off, cut off the tops and the bottoms. There's this. Okay, we've got 24 minutes left on the cake. All right. Okay, but even though there's not much cooking involved in this pork stir fry, there definitely is a lot of preparation. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to cut them. Just chunks are fine. These are really small onions, just roughly, coarsely chopped onions. All right, and I'm going to crush some garlic. Okay, I'm actually gonna get a separate bowl for the onions and the carrots. The reason is that they take longer to cook. I like the onions to be sauteed or caramelized, and the carrots need more time. But the zucchini and the orange peppers don't need that much time at all. I actually don't want to overcook them. That's sort of my pet peeve, like overcooked peppers. They just don't taste right. I like them to be a bit crunchy. All right, so put carrots and onions in this bowl. Okay, I'll move the way because we're done with it. All right. Okay, you can't see this one, that's all right. Okay, and then we're going to crush some garlic. I do have a garlic press, but I think that I'll just use my handy dandy cleaver. I can wash one less item. That always helps. There's always a lot of cleaning to do when you cook. Either you have to reuse some of your I guess, equipment, like your bowls and tools. Yeah, so just like how I used a bigger frying pan to melt the butter. I didn't bother washing it after pouring the butter into the cake batter because it's just butter. I'll just use it for the stir fry. It's fine. Yeah, if I had gotten a smaller pan just for butter, then I still have to take another pan out for the stir fry. Then I end up washing more. So yeah, try to reduce some steps. Yeah, and I'm just cleaning off the garlics before I crush them and mince them up. I'm thirsty. At some point I'm gonna get some water to drink because I talk a lot. Okay, so I'm just gonna crush some, and I use my cleaver, or you can use the handle of your knife if you have. Yeah, like I don't know, I've never tried crushing garlic with one of these knives, so it's pretty common to use your cleaver. So crush it, but I do have a garlic press. Crush it one at a time, maybe. Yeah, that just smushed like that, one by one. Smush. Woo. Blade away from me. Okay, and just take the skins off. Oh, I asked for music. So 1 second. I'm going to ask the DJ to put on some music. Hey, Mr. DJ. Oh, you're not available. When you're available, can you please turn on some music with the Sonos? Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we're just going to finely dice these garlics. Okay, I'm going to get a little, oh, this is good. This is a little shot measure from the dollar store. Just chop that up. Okay. And just roughly chop. All right. It is better to chop it more finely. Like I mentioned, you get a greater surface area and more aromas, but I'm happy with this. This will be very flavorful. Most recipes won't call, this one calls for 4 garlics. That's actually quite a bit. Most will be less than that. Yeah. For stir fry, you don't typically use that much. Okay, great. So I have my little ginger, my garlic right in there. Okay, I think we're ready to, oh, water chestnuts. I always keep you in suspense. 18 more minutes for the cake. Okay. All right, so water chestnuts. These were frozen. Yeah, and I am going to just chop them up. So water chestnut adds a nice crunch. It's almost like carrot, but carrots turn soft when you overcook them, like kind of. The water chestnuts don't, so they have a more crunchy texture to them. They're quite nice. Okay, so that's done. That was fast. Great, then we can combine all the, so there's quite a lot of preparation as you can see here. Quite a lot. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to combine sauces, the ingredients for the sauce. Okay. Okay, I'll put this away. I feel like I'm missing a bowl. Okay, this will do. Okay. Okay, so quite a lot of ingredients. I'll read them out. I'll have to get my notes because there's a lot, so. We've got soy sauce. Okay. Sugar, which we're substituting with coconut sugar. So soy sauce, sugar, black vinegar, and you can substitute this with balsamic vinegar, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's more like half the amount of balsamic vinegar and maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Okay, but don't worry, you can just, it's only 2 tablespoons, so don't worry too much. It won't affect your flavor if you do a 1-to-1 substitution. Sesame oil and this is and rice wine. I saw this at the supermarket yesterday. I couldn't help myself. It's rose wine. So this is not rice wine, it's rose wines. And so we're gonna have like rose tasting. I just couldn't help it. I really wanted to try rose wine, so we're using rose wine. Ketchup. This is like a generic brand ketchup. It's not Heinz or any commercial brand. Fish sauce from like Southeast Asia fish sauce, like Vietnamese fish sauce or Thai fish sauce. It's got a few languages. Yeah. There. And cornstarch. I'm covering the ingredients. Cornstarch. And chili oil. Oh, and I wanted to use Indonesian chili paste called sambal ulek. We bought this for a viewer's request back in February, and we actually haven't touched it. So it's just basically it has the same ingredients as Tabasco sauce in it. It's got vinegar and chili and salt in it. That's the basic ingredient for Tabasco sauce. And I'll use some of this, not too much, because I don't want that to expire. And I also have this sweet chili sauce. This is not an ingredient, but I really want to get rid of this sauce. I kind of don't feel the need to have barbecue sauces or any ketchup-based sauces. Just have ketchup and you can make your own version of the barbecue sauce. It's sort of like it's taking up space, so I try to get rid of this. Yeah, okay. So we have all these ingredients. Let's clear some space. And we'll just add them to our sauce mix. Okay, so I can't read my writing. Uh-oh. Oh, beef broth. Okay. So the recipe calls for chicken broth. We actually happen to have beef broth left over in the fridge. If it's still good, we'll use this. Yeah. It's just a flavor enhancer. If you don't have it, usually the substitute for broth is water. Okay. So 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay. And I was actually thinking yesterday or this morning that I really hate these bottles. Guaranteed it's going to leak on me, and I'm going to get a sriracha bottle and put it in there. I might do that on the show because I really don't like the bottle that it comes in. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay. Yeah, it's really messy, this bottle. Okay, put that away. 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. Just when it's wet, I'll just make sure I don't get any soy sauce in there. 2 tablespoons. Two tablespoons of black vinegar. This is, it's a rice vinegar. That's what this is. But you can substitute it with part balsamic and part apple vinegar. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. 1 tablespoon of wine. So the recipe calls for rice wine, but I couldn't help it. I wanted to buy rose wine. I really wanted, yeah, to have rose tasting food. I really wanted to know how it would taste like. So, so it's actually made of water, sorghum, rose, salt, and sugar. Smells really nice. I think I'm gonna do a braised beef shank using this rose wine. It smells so nice. It does smell like roses. Okay, so 1 tablespoon. Okay. It smells so good. Okay. So 2 teaspoons of ketchup. I'm just gonna do a squirt. Hey, how's it going, Death Eater? That's okay. Today was sort of a schedule change, and so last week we didn't actually have a stream. We made a last-minute decision to join some friends to rent a cottage east of Toronto. Yeah, just to get away. Like, we hadn't planned any trips this year, so yeah. And today's also not on regular streaming time as well. Tomorrow we're planning to go canoeing, so I thought, okay, well, we do have to make up for missing last week, so this is ad hoc. So I apologize for that, but yeah, this was sort of like our way of making a stream work. Yeah. Because I did think about this, like when it was winter, I thought when it's summer, we might have plans, like we might just want to do stuff during the weekend. Yeah, so at the cottage, we did some canoeing, and I really enjoyed that. It had probably been over a decade since I did some canoeing, and that was pretty fun. I might even go canoeing next week too. Got into it. So I just did 1 squirt of ketchup, like just a little bit of this sweet chili sauce. This is not in the recipe, but it's like a very normal, like a very regular tasting sweet and sour sauce, and ketchup is also it's more of a sweet sauce, but it does have some vinegar in it, and I just thought I want to find a way to get rid of this sauce. It's just I don't feel the need to have barbecue sauces. As long as you have ketchup, you can make your own barbecue sauce. So I kind of want to get rid of this. So I added that to it, and in future dishes, I'll just sort of sneak some in, and hopefully I'll get rid of this bottle. And some fish sauce. Yeah. So are your dogs racing this weekend, Death Eater? Yeah. Just shy of 1 tablespoon because it asked for 2 teaspoons, and a tablespoon is approximately 2.5 teaspoons. So just sort of eyeballing it. And cornstarch. Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to get roughly just a tablespoon of. So cornstarch acts as a thickener, so I could add more if I find that it's a bit runny. And we're just going to mix it. I'm going to use a pair of chopsticks. So our cake has 6 more minutes to go, almost done. Yeah. Oh, and our beef broth too. Okay. Yeah. I normally don't throw cornstarch in to a lot of liquid like this. I normally temper it separately with a bit of water. I forgot. So it's going to be a bit lumpy. Yeah. So it's going to be a bit lumpy. We'll try to work the lumps out in stirring. And I know being right-handed affects the view that you get from the webcam because it's to my right and I'm right-handed. I'm kind of blocking it so I can turn up it, you can see. Ah, okay. Canoeing is one of the best ways to work your upper body. Yeah. I'm excited. It's very therapeutic too. It's so peaceful. You can only canoe when it's calm. Yeah. If somebody goes by with a speedboat, like you have to brace yourself because you could tip, you can capsize. Yeah, it's so nice. It's so peaceful to be on a canoe. So Mr. Cook for Fun and I have been doing, I guess, some plyometrics. There's this workout that he found. I'll see if I can remember the sequence, but I think we do 30 seconds of different exercises and we rest 10 seconds in between. So the first one's jumping jacks. Then it's sitting against a wall, like pretend you're sitting on a chair, but you're holding yourself up with your muscles, right? I'm not going to remember each one, especially in order. There's squats. There's step-ups onto like a couple of steps and then you step back down. There's triceps. There's lunges, push-ups, sit-ups, rotational push-ups, the one where you go push-up and then you touch the sky and then push-up and then you touch the sky. There's planks. There's sideway planks. There's running with knees up. Yeah. And it's good because it's short and it ends quickly. And you feel the progress. Like each day, like you do it, you feel like you're yourself doing them faster, like the push-ups faster, the crunches faster, and you just feel stronger without the boredom of having to like force yourself to like, yeah. Okay, so I think I worked out the lungs. I know my camera doesn't zoom in to give you like close up. Yeah. With time, our equipment will improve. Well, thank you, Nelia. Okay. If I can find a link to that workout, I'll post it on our channel. And yeah, we'll all be working out and sharing our stories about working out. Okay. I think we're actually ready to cook. Yeah, I'm just going to open up this chili oil. So this is a homemade chili oil. The basic ingredients are chili flakes and vegetable oil, hot vegetable oil poured over the chili flakes, but we enhanced it a bit. We followed a recipe, and I think we've posted it on our Twitter page where there is other flavors infused. There's garlic, ginger, cardamom, star anise, cinnamon, salt. Yeah, so it's got more fragrance and aromas than your regular chili oil, so it's quite nice. We have this sambal uleg, which is an Indonesian chili sauce. It's basically Tabasco that isn't grounded up. It's got chili, salt, and vinegar. Those are the main ingredients for Tabasco. And that's our 1-minute countdown for the cake. And I wanted to sneak this in. Since we're not getting much use out of it, I bought it for a viewer's request. We made a Indonesian fried rice. So we didn't end up using it all, but there's no reason why we can't. It's just vinegar, chili, and salt. So it should be quite versatile. So I'm going to get a spoon. Just sort of stick that in here. And we are going to go over to the stove top. So I'm going to shut off the camera, move it over. Yeah, we're just gonna hack it. Yeah, so the webcam shut off, carry it over, so bear with me. Okay, that means the cake is ready. I'm not gonna rush because that's okay. Once I make my way over there, that's okay. I'm right behind you. I'm just sort of making sure I don't get things tangled when I move the camera over. So we're moving it over. You can see me. Okay, off. Okay, I'm gonna drag the camera. Okay. All right. So I think we can do the switch. Okay. Oven. All right. Not bad. I positioned the camera okay. Okay. So I'm gonna move our chili back here. You can see it. I'll make sure it's in your view. Yeah. So at the bottom there. I'm going to get our bins of vegetable, and I will move the mic as well because I know my voice will fade when I'm farther away from the counter. Okay. Have to make sure I don't. Okay. All right. So the mic is moved, and my cell phone, I have to get the chat going. Okay, and okay, I think we're good. Okay, and you can see all that. Okay, and I'll also get our pork. So we have our pork here, and we had the pork sliced up when it was half frozen. When it's half frozen, it's easier to slice because it's a bit solid. When the pork is completely raw and soft, it's very gummy when you're using the knife, and you actually can't get as thin of a slice when you when the pork is not a little, when it's too soft. So it's helpful to have half frozen meat when you're slicing it. And we sprinkled baking soda and added water to help tenderize the pork, and it's been in the fridge for around an hour, so that's good. So we know that it's been tenderizing. So we're just going to pour the water out, and we're going to strain it. Then we're going to put it aside. And after I put it aside, I'm going to take the cake out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. You might not be able to see the pork. It's sort of, okay, yeah, I can show you it right here. But I kind of want to show you the cake too. Okay, so, okay, I'll just move this aside and I'll put the cake here, but I will have to, I might have to move it. I don't really want the stir frying to affect the cake. Okay, so. And you know what? I'm gonna take out some frozen strawberries because I had a viewer once said that it's a rule, you have to decorate your cake. So I'm gonna, I don't know if that person is tuning in, I don't think so, but I'm gonna try to respect that opinion and try to decorate the cake because it's always fun. So I'm grabbing some strawberries. Okay, I've got this bag of frozen strawberries. So I won't be making strawberry roses with them because they're going to be too soft by the time I defrost them, and I won't be able to make roses out of them. But I'll just slice them into like rings and place them on the cake. So, okay, let's take the cake out. Okay, I'm a little bit worried and nervous. I hope that, and I'll get a spatula ready so that I could perforate, you know, help the, oh, thank you so much for the follow, Newfie stream, Newfie stream, and let us know where you're tuning in from. Yeah, you're just in time for the unveiling of the cake, so you'll see it in the webcam, which is now the main screen beside the stove. All right, so here's our cake. It actually looks like a traditional cake. You can't really tell that we replaced the flour with coconut flour and almond flour. So this is a no-carb cake. It's made with zucchini, cocoa powder, coconut flour, almond flour. It's got some whey powder, whey protein powder in it. Yeah, and coconut sugar. It's supposed to be healthier. All right, and before we flip the cake over, I'm going to, maybe I can move this because we haven't started cooking and we haven't turned on the heat. So it's kind of funny. We've got dessert here. We also have vegetable. And our music's on. Our DJ put on some music. I hope it doesn't get censored when we try to replay it. Okay. I need something a bit small just to make sure we're perforated here. I did butter it up with lots of butter, but you never know. I don't want a scenario where I tried to flip it over and the cake breaks on me because it's stuck to the pan. A little bit terrified about that. Yeah, I like working with spring-form pans because you can completely like scrape along the edge very well with a spring-form pan. I don't know. Just try your best. I mean, it's jiggly, which is a good sign. Thank you so much for the comment, Anilia. Yeah, let's hope it tastes good, but I'm going to keep you in suspense. We won't try it until everything is ready, until the pork is ready. Yeah. And we will post a photo on our Twitter page. So if you hit or enter !social, S-O-C-I-A-L, or you will get our social media links to stay connected with us, and we will upload a photo of our finished menu item after the stream. Yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous because I'm not actually poking all the way to the bottom of the pan with this. I'm just kind of like, I wonder if I can use something else to go lower. Like a butter knife. I'm actually, if I use a butter knife, I'll end up jabbing it, and you know, it's not good for the pan to use a butter knife, so I might just have to just try flipping it over. Yeah. So I see that there's a gap between the cake and the top of the pan, so I like to put something in between to soften the landing when I flip it over so that it doesn't fall, doesn't just plop like 2 inches away from. I like it to just like have a soft landing and slowly jiggle it out. So to do that, maybe I'll need something kind of like a ring, a bowl. You know, I'll need to use maybe a towel. Yep, so you gotta stick around for the taste test, or if not, just I will describe it on Twitter, so don't feel like, if you're constrained for time, don't feel like you have to, yeah, no, there's no pressure. so I think I'm gonna have to get some paper towel or something I need to form a barrier between. Okay, I won't waste these paper towels. Just like, I want to soften the landing when I plop it. When I plop it upside down. Okay. Actually, it's good to go like that. Oh, it just fell. I heard it. I heard the plop. There you go. There you go. It went cleanly. It came out clean. Very good. I'm excited. That's nice. Okay, now I'll just have to take this out. Okay, great. Let me show you a close-up. Ta-da! And I'll let it cool down. And we are going to top them with just like some strawberry ringettes. Okay, so that will be placed off to the side. Put that here, you can't really see it. Maybe I'll just sort of make this a little bit nicer. I'll move the garbage and I'll put on a cake plate. That always looks nice. Thank you, Stickler. I appreciate the comment. Yeah, so it's on the rack. I know you can't see it up close. It's on the rack because it's still cooling, but I will take it off the rack. I'm putting on a cake plate, sort of for optics. If you're tuning in like late for the stream, you can sort of see there's a cake there too. All right, so we're back to the stove top, and I'm going to turn on the light and turn the heat to like a medium high. Okay, and this pan was previously used for butter, so that's okay. I didn't bother washing it because, you know, it's all good. Butter and some olive oil. Okay, let it heat, and you know what, I'll just plop the garlic on there. I'll use half the garlic because I want to use half of it for the pork. So that was like 4 cloves in there. Okay, now on this stove, let it heat up. Yeah, so if you can stick around for the taste test, Stickler, stick around. Maybe this is a recipe you can try for your girlfriend. I don't know if this is HCG friendly. It's definitely paleo friendly, I believe. I don't really know the difference, to be honest. Yeah. I kind of feel like I want to let you look at the close-up of a cake because cakes are always a highlight of streams. People just love cakes and they always will. Well, while this is heating up, I'm just going to rinse the cutting board and maybe start on the strawberries off to the top of the screen so that we can get more done. Yeah, because I don't really have to pay attention while, like, it's just going to be carrots and onions cooking, and that takes a few minutes, and I don't really have to watch it. I'm beside it. So I've got like these frozen strawberries. I have to be careful when I cut them that I don't slip and cut my finger because they're going to be hard to cut. They're not defrosted yet. Okay, that's quite a bit. I'll start with that much and see how we do. I'm going to give our knife a rinse. Okay. Right, I'll just be extra careful. Oh, I see it sizzling. Okay, before we start with the onions or the strawberries, I'm just gonna plop, that's my word. Oops, something dropped on the floor. With onions, we're gonna go in there. My chat on my mobile isn't working, I don't know why. Let's see, I'll try to chat. Okay, it's connecting. Okay, maybe it'll work. Okay, just sort of put these in the middle. And I do want to put the carrots in because they take a while. Yeah, but I'll put them to the side, like just do that. And I won't really pay attention to it. I'll just let it cook. I can even cover it too. That's okay. Alright, I'll just turn it like that. Turn the heat to like a medium low so I don't have to be paranoid. And now just slice up some strawberries. They're frozen. Okay. And I'll just slice them at so that they're circle actually. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Or no. I'll slice them so that from top to bottom so that I have these triangles so they resemble petals. So I'd like to have some petals. Cut up some petals. So as you can see, maybe the view is not supposed to. I'm cutting the strawberries and they're turning into petal shapes. Oh, it's really, there's a lot of glare. You can see there. Petal shapes, yeah. So it's just like lengthwise is how I'm cutting the strawberries. And I have to be really careful because strawberries aren't flat, so it's easy for the strawberry to slip and for me to cut my finger, so gotta be careful. Hey Elmira, how's it going? I was just thinking about you. So I'm cutting up strawberries for the cake. You can see the cake in the webcam. It's actually a German chocolate cake. It's made with zucchini. It's low carb. It's made with zucchini, almond flour, coconut sugar, and you know, like vanilla, like and eggs. And I was thinking, last minute I took out these strawberries that I'm cutting up because I said that we have a viewer who believes that every cake has to be decorated. So we are decorating this chocolate cake with strawberries. And these are frozen strawberries, so I'm not doing strawberry roses. I'm doing just sliced up strawberries, but I've cut them into these, I don't know if there's glare from the light, right? I've cut them into lengthwise so that I can put them on like petals on the cake. It's really bright, the light. Like petals, so it'll be nice. And I might run out to the garden and get some fresh mint so that we can make like a pretty design. Okay, I'm just gonna give this so these are just, so to my, what I'm doing here is I'm making pork. I'm making a pork dish and we have our chocolate cake that's ready. That's just cooling off. So I'm not, for the strawberries, I'm not making a frosting. So, Mr. Cook for Fun. Yeah, like the sugar, and like we're skipping the frosting. I know, you might think we need frosting. Yeah, we're skipping the frosting, but we're putting strawberries directly on the cake. We'll add some mint leaves. I'm going to turn this lower because it's starting to brown a little bit and I'm not quite done with the strawberry, so. That's probably enough strawberries, but it never hurts to have more strawberry. Ah, okay. So we have strawberries and we have mint leaves. So I'll have to go to the garden and get some mint leaves. So how's it going? I haven't seen you for a while, Elmira. So last week I didn't stream. My husband and I, we joined some friends and we rented a cottage and we did some canoeing and that was a lot of fun. We have more than enough strawberry. I'll just finish cutting these up. They're frozen strawberries. And go to the garden and get some mint quickly. and then come back. That was dangerous. It almost slipped. Yeah, because strawberries are, they're not flat, so yep, gotta be careful. Okay, so these strawberries are cut up. I'll put them to the side. Now we're gonna finish off I'll put them in the front because we're gonna go back to the front to top the cake. And I want to clean the front too. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat to super low, and then we're gonna take a really quick break, run to the garden and get some fresh mint. Yeah, okay. Great, so just give us a stir before we go. We're already on low heat, so that's good. Same with the carrots. Yeah. All right, so I'll be quick. Just to go to the garden, get some mint. Okay. Do I have jelly? I'm back. Okay, so Almario's question was, do we have jelly? Oh yes, jam. Yes, we do. So if I put some on, I'll just have to put a little bit on because it's got a lot of sugar. We have raspberry jam or jelly, and we also have fig jam too. But they're very sweet, so we'll just have to put a very little on. But yeah. That'll be nice, and it'll help the strawberries stick to the cake. So yeah, this is beautiful. This mint is fresh from the garden. I just cut it. Yeah, I just went to the garden and cut it. So very, very nice. So I'll put that in the front with the strawberry, and I'll also grab our jam. I'll show Almara the jam. Okay. Oh, this is our raspberry jam. Yeah, so yeah, we can add some to the cake for sure. Not too much. Okay, I can mix it with water. Oh, thanks for the suggestion. Yeah. So, Nilia was telling you earlier that sometimes the viewers give me tips, and that's an example. Almara's a regular viewer, and I've gotten tips and some cooking advice from Almara. So I've actually improved my cooking since I started streaming, thanks to the viewers and the various tips I got, and some suggestions too. Just from doing different types of cooking, I learned techniques that I can use for other dishes too. You can stick up the cake. Stick up the cake. Okay. Yeah. So I would probably, get some jam, some water, spread it on top, put the strawberries on and put the mint on, and try to make it as beautiful as we can. Okay, so I'm gonna turn up the heat to like a medium. I don't know, the carrots, yeah, they're fine. And I have lots of vegetables. This is a lot. The reason we have a lot is my husband doesn't eat any carbs, so he's gonna be eating lots of vegetables. Yeah. So, okay, this is actually maybe not big enough for this amount, but maybe I'll start with half. So in here we have some orange peppers, and I'm not going to spend too much time because these vegetables can all be eaten raw, so they don't need to be cooked very long. They will just be warmed up, and I'll put them back in the bin. So we've got some fresh zucchini, and I want to show you something, Almira. This is a zucchini. It's from our garden. When the show started, it was very big, like the size of a small baseball bat. Yeah, we grew it in our garden, and yeah, so it's very fresh. So here's half the amount of vegetable. Yep. I feel like, I don't know, I think I'll just stick it all in here. All right. Okay. All right. So you can't see this. Here's our pork. And this is the sauce for the, oh, you can't see it. A little bit lower right there. Okay. Oops. All right. And I'll get another wooden spoon. It smells good. And I'm watching this closely because I don't want to overcook. I don't like overcooked vegetables. Carrots could be overcooked, but not the zucchini or the peppers. This is quite a lot, especially since we have like a pound of pork. This is probably 3 pounds of vegetables. Okay, gelatin is a good replacement for frosting. Okay, that's good to know. Interesting. I have to learn that technique. Yeah. So do you wait for the gelatin to turn hard and then you spread it on? Is that how it works? Yeah. Oh, I should put some salt and pepper on this. Yeah, some salt and pepper. Okay, I should check that out. Just a bit of salt, not too much. Oh, whoa, okay. That might be a bit much. Let's see if I can take some of this onion piece. Has a lot of salt. I'll put that away. Too salty. Okay. All right, and freshly ground pepper. I'm gonna look that up though. That's interesting because the gelatin is not so fatty as butter, or there's no sugar. So that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty much done. I don't want to overcook the zucchini. All right, I'm gonna turn off the heat and just put this back, put it back in the bin. I feel like I know the bin is small and it's a bit hot here because the stove was on beside me. All right. It must be really late where you are in Belgium, Elmira. So I think there was like maybe it's like almost time for you to go to bed right now in Belgium. Yeah, okay. So I'll turn the heat back on to like a medium and I'll add my olive oil. See, this is a sriracha bottle. I used a sriracha bottle and I'll show you the original. So this is the original sriracha bottle, and after I was finished, I saved the bottle and used it for oil, and I like it because it's very clean, like there's no oil dripping down the sides, and I can squirt and control the amount better, so I quite like it. I have another empty bottle, and I'm going to use it for soy sauce because I find some of my soy sauce bottles are always leaking from the sides, so I like this bottle very much, just to reuse it for this purpose. Okay, it's pretty warm. I'm gonna add my garlic. Okay, great. And we don't want burnt garlic, so I'm going to add our pork. Okay, what is that recipe? Lara Hayes. Okay, is that a fruit pie dish? All right, okay. I hope it doesn't, okay, I'm gonna, whoa, okay. All right. I'm gonna fire it up to a medium high. It was sizzling, but it's no longer sizzling. Okay. Oh, it's a bowl of fruit with gelatin. Okay. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna do a bit of cleaning here. Move some stuff. I don't like a messy kitchen on stream. Yeah. Make it a little bit nicer. Turn back to here, so and when it's half cooked, I'll start adding some chili to it. So it's midnight in Belgium. Wow, it's really late. Do you have to wake up early tomorrow? Well, thank you for tuning in. So this is actually a lot of pork. I think it's probably 1.5 pounds of pork. I thought it was 1 pound. Okay. Turn it up a bit. I'm going to add some. It's Sunday, okay. And are you going to go to the market tomorrow? I remember last time you told me about this eel you bought and you cooked it. It sounded really good. Oh, thank you, Nelia. Well, I would love to have you for dinner and all of the viewers as well. We'll have a cyber dinner together. All right, and I'm going to add some chili sauce to it. About a spoon of this, or maybe 2 spoons of this, Indonesian chili sauce. Lower the heat to about a medium, and some of this chili oil. All right, and a bit of the oil as well. Ooh, that's gonna be nice. Okay, great. Okay, put that in the vegetable bowl. Soak up the rest of the chili. Oh, your eel was already smoked. Yum. That sounds really good. Here's the lid. I'm so hungry myself. I didn't have a very big lunch. I had some leftover pizza, and it was frozen pizza. It wasn't homemade. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to add our sauce. So our sauce had a lot of ingredients in it. It had soy sauce, fish sauce, sesame oil, some cooking wine, some rice vinegar, cornstarch, some sugar, some ketchup, some sweet and sour sauce. So it's a pretty busy sauce. And I'm going to turn up the heat. Yeah, and then I'm just going to add it in. and let the cornstarch thicken. I'm also going to pour a bit of beef broth to it. Oh yeah, it was 15 euros, huh? Yep. So I'm going to put some broth into here. Give it a little shake. It smells good because there's a lot. I put a lot of chili in it, and then the vinegar and sesame oil, the ketchup. All right. Okay, and I'm just gonna put. Okay. Wow, $22.50 for 500 grams. That's not very much, but I'm sure it's delicious. Wow, the smoked eel is really, really good. I'm not going to put all of this in, maybe. A bit of this. Okay, so I can turn it off. Everything's cooked. It's just I'm mixing it. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can probably fit it all in. I was afraid it'll be like too much. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put it all in. I forgot to cook rice. All right. Do I have veggies left over now? Well, not anymore. I put them all in here. So, mixing it up. Yum. I really like the combination of vinegar and chili and sweet. It's very nice. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, now we get to decorate the cake. Okay. Oh, and next time don't throw away anything at all. Oh, yeah, we don't throw away anything. We try not to. Yeah. All right, so here's our cake, and I think it's cooled down now. I made sure it was on the rack so that we can cool it. Then I'm just gonna slide it off onto the cake plate. Okay, and we're gonna make our a jam frosting. So let's get our. I've never done this before, so I'm totally following Elmira's instruction. Okay. Okay, we have our jar. And I'm going to move the camera again. To be careful not to get all tangled. Okay, you have to there. And A small bowl and a brush. All right, it's gonna be a meat brush, but that'll work. All right, let's get this there. Okay, so make sure you can see. I guess I should put the small stuff here. There. All right, so we've got our mint, our strawberry, we've got jam. So I'm gonna listen forward a bit so that I can do the jam here and you can see it in the small camera. I'll get to our brush. It's actually a meat brush. I'll give it a rinse so it doesn't have any meat on it. And a spoon, yes. That's right, to mix it. Okay, so we have our meat brush and a spoon. All right, some jam. We have a lot of strawberries here. That's quite a lot. Okay, but that's okay. And get our spoon. I don't know. Okay, maybe that much. Just one spoon. Okay. I think we're good then. I'll add just a little bit of water, right? Okay. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see in the small camera. Okay. Let's close this up. Sort of giving it a good mix. Hope it's not too much water. If it's too much water, I have to add some more jelly. I might need some more jam. I don't know, is it too thin? Okay, it's good. Okay, I got Elmira's approval. Okay, so I'm just gonna brush around the ring. Actually, I'm like dabbing. I'm not really brushing it. Just, you can't see very well because the cake is brown and the sauce is red, so there's not much contrast, but you can see a little bit, I think. Yeah, it doesn't show up on the camera so well. Okay, I'll put the strawberries on it. Yep. Just gonna make sure it's even. Yeah. I think some parts might have more than others. I'm gonna even it out first. It's nice. I think the seeds like help decorate the cake. Yes, well that is actually raspberry jam, Nilia. Yeah, it's 1 spoon of raspberry jam with just a little bit of water so that, because the jam is really thick, just to help like make it more spreadable. Not much water at all. So this is, Almira recommended this because I didn't have any frosting and I didn't want to make something sugary. Because frosting is high in sugar and high in butter, and so Almira suggested, I asked if there was any jam in the kitchen or jelly in the kitchen, and we had. So yeah, this is just an ad hoc addition to our plan. Okay, so let's add strawberries. So let's make sure you can see that in the small camera. Like it's a little, yeah, it's not so. Okay, okay, just got. Try to get Okay, so I'll put like petals around it. So in between the petals, I will put a mint leaf. That's the plan. I probably won't have that much mint leaf, maybe. Oh, maybe, okay, the strawberries look a bit wet, huh? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because they were frozen. All right, I'll get my tissue. Yeah, they're very, very wet. You can see that. They're just soaking up all the liquid. Really, really wet. Yeah. It's better to use fresh strawberries because they will be they're quite soggy. But you use what you have, right? It's got the texture of mango. That's how wet these are. I don't know. Okay, they're very, very wet. I'll just, I'll carry on. I'll keep drying it as we go. But yeah, they are quite wet. You can see that in the camera. Ooh, they're very wet. Just sort of dab them. Probably won't use all the strawberries. There's a lot. And you can tell like the strawberries, like they're not hard, like they're really soft because they're frozen, defrosted strawberries. They're not fresh strawberries. But we didn't have anything else, so we do our best. We make it up as we go on the show. The pork smells really good behind me. Yeah, really wet strawberries, trying to dry them, but that's okay. So we'll probably do 2 layers, and in between the layer we'll put the mint leaves. Yeah, fresh strawberries are way nicer, but we'll see how it turns out. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we can do some sprinkling. Yeah, for sure, because there's like just to add some sort of color to it, some kind of like sparkle. So we got our mint, so I'm gonna put them like, I do have more in the garden, but I don't want to have too much mint. Sort of space them out evenly. I don't know, maybe like every 2 leaves, every 2 strawberries there's a leaf. And then I'll do another overlapping layer of mint. Okay, add it all on the side. Yeah, like some design. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I'll try to show you close up because I know the camera is really... So far this is 1 layer. Okay. I'm gonna do another strawberry layer, then it'll look more complete, I think. But they are very wet, these strawberries. Maybe we'll try some, yeah, I'll put the ones, the ends. They kind of look nice, the ends. Not bad. They're really wet though, but not bad. I'll show you close up. It's looking a lot better now after I added these strawberry ends. Like, So these are the sides of the strawberries that have more seeds, and it's pretty nice now. Actually, I'm gonna see how many leaves. I might just put all the mint because I do like the contrast. So I'll try to put as many leaves as I can on it. The green is quite nice. A Tulban cake. Ah, okay, not now, next time. Okay. I'm not really a cake expert. Yeah. The cake cooking is new to me. Because like cake is not natural to me. Because I can't taste the cake when I'm cooking it. I can just mix everything and hope that the taste will be good after I take it out of the oven. So I didn't really get into cake making when I was growing up, but since I started streaming, I've been learning and it's been fun. Lots of fun. Okay, I'd love to show this to you up close so you can see. And I'm going to take a photo too. I always take a photo. Okay, I'm going to show you up close. Yeah. I can't really show you in this camera. A little bit. Yeah. Not bad. Alright, so I'll move. I guess I can put this like on the side or something just to add some green to it. We usually have our other green plate under it. I forgot to put that. Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to touch it. I might drop it. But we usually put our green plate, like, add a bit of design to it. Okay. All right. And we are going to plate the rice. So we do have another cake plate too. So I can grab that because I don't want to share the same plate as the cake plate. So I'll put that in the front or maybe here a bit. Yeah, so you can see it. Yeah, okay. And I'll get the other cake plate and put and serve the pork on it. So 1 second, I'll get the chair. Winston wants to go outside. Okay. Okay, just getting the cake plate. I need my chair. All right. Here's the other cake plate. There are lots of pork. Put it here for now. I'm not serving it like this. Yeah, we do know a new way to use jam and jelly. That was creative and it was easy because I didn't have to go make up a frosting for it. All right, so let's get a bowl. Yeah, okay. I'm getting this Chinese bowl. I didn't make any rice. I meant to and I forgot. So I'm going to also have a low carb meal as well. But I think I might make some rice after this. I do like eating the stir fry with rice. It's quite nice that way. Oh, it's like got dirty. Okay, there. Okay, so get a mix of everything. So I can smell the vinegar. I can smell the rice vinegar and the chili. Like, yeah, it's very nice. I love the combination of sweet and sour and chili. Okay. All right. So no fancy plating here. That's actually kind of funny. I might just put a slice of cake over here. It's pretty funny. I'll leave this because it will go in the photo when I take a picture. All right, so let's switch these around. This will go here. So you don't really need to see that. So I don't know. This is kind of funny. I kind of wish I had some rice to put on a plate and all right. So I'll take a photo. So I want you all to get ready to smile for the camera because your chat screen is going to be in the photo. Oh, I know what I could do. I can use sriracha sauce and make a little flower. Remove that plate. It's to use. Like this one. Like that. Or I could move the cake over and put like this, share it like that. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, it is too huge, huh? You know what? I could do something. It's like you go to a restaurant and they just kind of, like they do. Like that. So, like with my other rice dishes, I flip them around, but if I do that, it's gonna fall. I go like this, and then I have everything on a plate. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then, okay. I know you need to go to bed soon, Almira. It's late in Belgium. I know it's late for a lot of the people who are not in North America. Okay. All right. Okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I don't need any more. I think it's gonna be spicy enough. Okay. So, like that. Give you the cake. Everyone, get ready to smile for the camera. Yeah, the chat room is going to show up in the picture, and you're going to be on Twitter. Yeah. Okay, say cheese, or yeah, say cheese. All right. I'm going to do a close-up of each dish. I'm going to make sure I get a lot of red sprinkles, the chili sprinkles. They look nice. Yeah, the cake always looks good after decorating it. It still looked good when it was just the chocolate cake, but it definitely makes a difference when you add the red and the green on top. All right, so now it's time to taste it. Yeah. Okay, so, okay. I'm going to keep you in suspense. I'm gonna get another dish too for this because I'm going to serve Mr. Cook for Fun right away. Okay, so you can see that in between. Oh, first the meat, right? That's right, because it's dessert. Okay, that's right. We gotta do things in the right order. Okay. So this is a dish that we make a lot in this kitchen, and Mr. Cook for Fun was surprised that we had never made it on the stream before. This never happened. So it was time to finally make this dish on the screen because it's great for leftovers, for packing for work. It's really good. Okay, so I have a piece of pork. Mmm. So it has a very nice balance of sweetness and the acidity from the vinegar and chili. It's not super spicy. So every time I make this, it tastes different because I don't follow the recipe exact. Sometimes I add more chili, I add more ketchup, more other ingredients. So this is very well balanced. And I added beef broth, which is something I don't usually do, and I taste it. It just enhanced it, like more meat flavor. And pork is juicy. This is a very good meat. It's a pork loin. So pork, you can never go wrong. Pork is such a great forgiving meat to work with. It never goes dry on you. It's juicy. You can overcook it, but it still works good. I'm gonna try the vegetables because I was careful not to overcook them. So we've got our homegrown zucchini. And it's giving a nice crunch as well. And the zucchini absorbs the sauce. So I think I added more vinegar than usual, and I like it. I like that taste. It's not like white vinegar. It's pretty much like, imagine balsamic vinegar mixed with apple cider vinegar. Like your balsamic is a bit strong, but really flavorful. And then your cider is sweet and light. So it's very nice. Yeah. I do believe though that I do feel that this dish takes a lot of preparation. As you were watching me cut up all the vegetables, mixing all the ingredients, there's so many ingredients, but you can actually prepare some of the ingredients before, like the night before. You could mix up the sauce and just leave it in the fridge, and when you're ready to cook, like after work, you just mix everything together. The cooking part is so easy. It's just a lot of the work is preparation, cutting and mixing and measuring. So the zucchini is very nice. It's not overcooked. Oh yes, you saw the mascot. You saw him run, and it showed on the screen. Oh, Mr. Cook for Fun turned on the light. It's 6:30 p.m., so it got a little bit darker here. So the orange pepper was very ripe, so it's nice and sweet. And Mr. Cook for Fun, he's staring at the cake. I had some food. Because he can eat it. He can have this ketone cake. So I like this pork dish, and I recommend that you try it out. Yeah. Okay, cake time. Mr. Cook for Fun is now trying the pork. Hey, cake time. And I'm gonna keep you in suspense. Is there a link for the recipes? Yes. Enter exclamation mark recipes or recipe. Let me do that right now, and then you'll get it. Yeah. So that's a popular recipe, the pork from America Test Kitchen. I think I don't know if it's recipes or recipes, so let's see if that works. I'll do both. Oh, my phone is slow. I pushed send, but it didn't send. Oh, it says I'm disconnected from chat. I don't know what's happening. Because it's telling me to log in again. Okay, so exclamation mark recipe or exclamation mark recipes with an S at the end. Give that a try. Okay. All right. I'll get another fork. What do you think of the pork, Mr. Cook for Fun? Okay, he gave a thumbs up. All right, so it's cake time. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you can see it. That's That's Winston. He's playing with his toy. Okay, you can see what I'm... Ooh, it looks good. She's right. So what's the test? You're supposed to see how it looks. Here you go. First of all, you could try it. Okay. You better take it before I drop it. All right. Great. Okay. Yeah, I usually do. I forgot to put the link on my channel page. I put it in my Nightbot, so yeah. Were you able to? Recipe. I think you spell it after the P. There's no I. It's just exclamation mark RESIPE. There's no I there. Yeah. So try that again. But I don't know why it's telling me to log in, because like that's weird. I know you have to sleep soon, Elmira. Oh, I'm not able to cook for fun. Why can't I? There's no, the Y, replace it with an E. Yeah. Yeah, sorry to,
What's your password?
it's not working. Oh no. Mr. Cook for Fun, can you enter it into your phone on in the chat room? Oh, okay. So he's gonna do it. All right. Okay. So, like if you look at the texture, you see a lot of grains, because those are almond nuts, like almond flour, coconut flour. It's really grainy. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a bite and then. Yeah. All right. Let me show you too. Yeah. Say ah. It looks a bit different, right? It looks a bit different from a cake. It's more sticky looking. Okay, time to eat it. It's very moist. Yeah, it's very moist. Like there's sometimes cake could be dry, but it's moist. Like I feel like the inside is like very moist. It's nice. So one thing I read about this recipe is that when you add the zucchini in, the zucchini helps to keep the moisture. The zucchini does have a lot of liquid. Yeah. And the chocolate is the right amount. I think I used a little bit less because we finished off our can of cocoa powder and the recipe called for ½ cup. And I might have used a little bit less than that because we didn't have any more. So it's a good amount. It's not too sweet. And the coconut sugar also makes it less sweet as well. It's very nice. And I do taste the almond, very strong almond flavor, but nice because it's grounded up and mixed in very well with the ingredients. And I recommend this. If you're on one of those diets, like the low carb diet, it does look like carb. It does have a very close texture to it. Yeah, and I'm just gonna eat it with my hand. And then we're gonna call our mascot over to say hi and wish you all a great weekend. So I'm gonna take a few more bites first. It definitely tastes really healthy, the nutty flavor. And just the right amount of chocolate. I do like it. It's not as sweet as most a cake. Yeah, that's right. There's not that much jam at all. Yeah. Yeah. This is good. It's healthier. And the funny thing, if you look up close, I don't know if you can see it, you can see some green. It's from the zucchini. So there's vegetable in this cake. There's 2 cups of zucchini in this cake. Including the zucchini seeds. I didn't throw them out. So this is a good cake for a low carbs version. Low carb and low sugar as well. Yeah. So let me show you a close-up again. Like it's kind of like it's definitely not a dry cake. It's, yeah. So I don't know how long it lasts. Like I think I shouldn't put in the fridge too long because there's vegetable in there. It might not last so long. Yeah. Yeah, so it's very, very interesting. You can see the green. I don't know if you can see the green. See? Over there, the green, that's from the zucchini. So there's bits of vegetables in the cake, which is interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna have our friend say hello to you before we're done. 1 second. Uh-oh. Winston's running away. All right, Winston saw me coming, so he ran. So I'm gonna try to get him to come over with a treat. Winston likes his treat. I can't share the same. Yeah. He likes his treats. Oh, okay, I have to give him a dry treat. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I realize today is not our regular stream, so thanks for being able to make it to today's show. I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in, making this a fun show and a very healthy chat community. I always enjoy talking to you, and sorry, here's your treat. Getting some more ideas, and thanks for the tips about the jam on the cake. Yeah. And we had a moderator come on, so thanks for volunteering your time. And keep your viewer requests coming. We look forward to seeing you on the next stream and trying some new recipes together. And stay social on Twitter or Facebook. And I will post the recipes on the channel and also that exercise I talked about. So until next time, take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Bye. Bye. Okay, and here's some cake, Mr. Cook for Fun.